from BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome to Open the Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Some really interesting games right across the country today. We are at 3 o'clock kickoffs in the top flight for you this afternoon, and we have 3 big games covered in the Championship. I'll bring you all the goal news from right across the country. So let's get back to Willie there. Willie's at Dens Park. Hopefully everything's working technically now, Willie, and very interesting, as you say, to how Aberdeen bounced back from that game midweek. I think they felt they probably should have hung on to get all 3 points, but again, it was an interesting game in terms of some of the big calls made by the officials.
Yeah, I mean, I think from an Aberdeen point of view, it was probably the best I've seen them so far this season, Kenny. And sorry, there's some scenes here with Aberdeen fans are throwing on pyrotechnics into the goal mouth. Fortunately, Dimitar Mitov is not in the goal at this moment in time, and they're just trying to clear it. It's something that the club's got to take into consideration and try to inform the fans perhaps a little bit better that this is not behaviour that Aberdeen fans should be bringing to an away club. But anyway, back to the game. Yeah, I think it was a good performance. I thought it was a great game of football. Really enjoyed it. St Mirren were top quality as well and scored some good goals. But yeah, when you get to 99 minutes, you think surely you can hold on. They were down to 10 men, right enough. Malloy was off and they couldn't put on another substitute, so there was perhaps a reason, but at that stage, last header, last touch, you would have thought that Aberdeen could have made the effort to keep the ball out, but probably a deserved draw at the end of the day because St Mirren put a lot into the game, and we're just waiting, and a kick-off that will be delayed a little bit because of these pyrotechnics getting thrown on for Dundee. Really important one for Stephen Presley. The good performance against Celtic and the victory against St Mirren will be giving him hope that he can go on a little run himself, because it was that game against Dundee at Pittodrie where Aberdeen started their very fine run. So a really important game for both teams.
Yeah, we've just seen pictures of Kevin. Where is he, Kenny?
He's at Dens Park.
He's at Dens Park.
He was just chatting with Gordon Strachan there.
Kevin Sinfield, the great England Rugby League player, former league player. He's obviously done these incredible marathons and fundraisers for motor neuron disease in honour of his great teammate and friend, the late Rob Burrow, who died of MND, and obviously the great Doddy Weir did too. But he's in the midst of running 7 ultra marathons in 7 days.
Crazy.
To raise money. The man is the most.
He should be made a sub.
One of the most
people like Gareth Southgate has won the hole in the donut. He's being a sub. This guy should be made a sub.
He is. I mean, it's 27.9 miles each day for 7 days. The man is remarkable. I mean, there's no words that I can express to articulate the good that he has done for motor neuron disease research. It's extraordinary.
Yeah, fantastic. We can see the pictures as well as saying there are huge cloud smokes there coming from the pyrotechnics at Dens Park. Let's then get to your game, Alan, at Easter Road. Looking forward to it.
Brilliant, and we've got to see a magnificent, totally sold out away support. They really believe the Falkirk fans are in some run. 3 clean sheets in a row. The last time they had 4 was 2008. So they'll be aiming for that today, but Hibs coming off 2 defeats, they'll be hoping to try and turn that around if they can. So I'm looking forward to a really good game here. It's 2 really good football sides.
Derek Lilly is at Fair Park for us. Motherwell up against Livingston. Derek, I'm sure you're excited to see the home side this afternoon, given all the chat there's been about their style of play this season.
Absolutely, Kenny. We're underway a couple of minutes now, and yeah, it's been no surprise that Motherwell have started well. Charles Cook got in a bit, hit the byline early on, just got a bit crowded out, tried to put the ball across the 6-yard box, and Masmanisi, the shot from just outside the box, just straight at the keeper. There was no real sort of sign of it going in, but yeah, I think they've definitely got the tails up, Motherwell, and Livingston are going to go in for a hard day, I think. Yeah, and Alan Preston, you sent me a wee message, actually, was it yesterday he sent it? I'm sure Derek Lilly would love to hear read out.
Yeah, Derek likes that at that venue there. He scored 3 goals for Livingston in the first season there against Motherwell. Yeah, it was a good team for that year. The Biscuits done well, came here. Scored my very first goal for Livingston against Motherwell. We scored here in a 1-each draw, and I scored at Almondvale. We beat them 3-1 all in the one season, so yeah,
Well, I don't know if I'll be a good luck charm, we'll soon see.
Yeah, they need something, that's for sure. And actually, we'll get Tom's thoughts in a minute, but I felt great to hear from the three managers, Jim Goodwin, Stephen Robinson, Davy Martindale, and the story that Tom brought us from Dave Cormack on VAR. But I felt Davy Martindale very, very strong. We'll get Tom's reaction to that in just a minute. So let's then get to the game in Paisley. St Mirren against Dundee United. He looks a really tough one to call there.
It is, yeah, we're only 3 or 4 minutes in. Both systems are exactly the same, but Stephen Robinson's playing a little surprise as Godjic has been pushed into centre midfield. He's playing with Phillips as a holder. Not a lot happening thus far. Kenny, pitch is great. Derek Lilly scored a lot of goals for Livingston. I don't know if he scored. I don't know if he scored for me at Dundee United.
I think you tried to buy me back. Did you know it was at 50 grand you tried to bid the next season?
No, 5 grand.
And you want to change? That's a bit harsh. Come on, Ian.
500.
It can be brutal in sports, and that's for sure. I found that last week, thanks to Mr. Chick Young, I have to say. Right, let's get to the 3 games they're covering in the Championship. Ayr United at home to Partick Thistle. There for us is Chris Doolan.
Yeah, just both teams settling into the game, Kenny. It's going to be really interesting in the shapes. It's 2 shapes that work well against each other. If you know, the way to play down to 3-5-2 is to play 4-3-3. So both sides right now are enjoying a wee bit of possession without creating anything, but they're just starting to feel each other into the game. I think both teams are matched up in the middle of the pitch, so it's going to be out wide, I think, that will dictate who picks up the points today.
Fascinating, Rory Lloyd, to see what we see for under Dougie Imrie in charge of Wraith Rovers away at St Johnstone today.
Yes, indeed. Well, we're seeing a 4-2-3-1. Dylan Easton tucked in behind Jack Hamilton, the main striker. Josh Mullen one side, Paul McMullen the other. I quite like Dylan Easton in a wider area, I have to say. Anytime I've watched Wraith Rovers and Dylan Easton, I always think he does really well from a wider area. So wait and see how he does in that kind of position tucked in behind Jack Hamilton. But he needs to try and get involved in the game. St Johnstone have had all the balls so far. Czech Diabate missed a really good chance from a header, which he headed wide from a wide free kick. It's currently 0-0. St Johnstone have a corner.
Ross County at home to Airdrie today. Ian Auld is there for us. Ian, as you were staying at the top of the programme, perhaps one of the biggest surprises in Scottish football so far this season, how poor County have been.
Yeah, indeed, Kenny. I don't think many will have had Ross County down to be second bottom in the Championship table come the start of December, but that's where they are, and they're under pressure today because Airdrie can go above them in the league table. County have started well. They've had the game's first real chance. Ryan Duncan latching on to Dean Cornelius' cross from the right-hand side and flashing over at the back post. But yeah, County have started well. This is kind of really the start they need. Tony Docherty said beforehand he wasn't under pressure going into this game, but if they lose, then yeah, pressure will start to mount on Tony and his Ross County side.
Yeah, no doubt at all about that. Really disappointing. One game kicked off, it has finished. Lunchtime kick-off down in England. Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1. They are on the most remarkable run, Aston Villa, after a really poor start to the season, and also so far so good for Davy Moyes. Everton 1, Nottingham Forest 0 there. Milenkovic with a goal, an own goal on 2 minutes, so Everton ahead at home to Forest. Tom, just before we bounce around the grounds again, just your reaction to what we heard there from 3 of the managers on that VAR story you brought us.
Well, the one thing that shone through from the 3 of them was the passion that they have about this, because these are 3 men who are frustrated about the whole thing, and I think you could count every other manager in the league in that regard. And David Martindale says, look, 60 seconds is probably not workable, so just bin it now. And there was real force behind these words there. Stephen Robinson saying, the less I say about it, the better, but I have a lot of respect for Dave Cormack. Could we interpret that as support for what Dave Cormack says? And Jim Goodwin very, very strong as well. Everybody in agreement. The process is taking too long, looking for ways to disallow goals nowadays. So yeah, 3 very passionate responses there. It was
good that Davy's seen both sides of it, Tom, as well.
He has, Alan, yeah.
And how it changes for the fans as well. You know, when you're at a championship game, the ball goes in the back of the net, the referee gives a goal, it's a goal. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, well, what Dave said was there's too many contentious decisions. With VAR or without VAR, there's going to be contentious decisions, so it doesn't really make a difference on that front. Davy's clearly been in the championship. He suffered a little bit in the top flight. That's what stung him a little bit. So, listen, it's not going away. Modern technology is in everyday life, and football is just part of that. It's not going to go away. It's simply, we've said it before, it has to get better. They have to manage it better. Referees have to be better.
You're right. It's not going to go away.
Yes, Alan.
Chris Cadden, I think it just gets stuck under his feet. It's a decent move down the right-hand side. It's not back to him. And I just think it just comes at him too quick under his feet, and he lifts the ball over the top of the bar. Hibs have started really well. Iredale's had a shot, well saved by Scott Bain away for a corner. but we have got, 8 minutes on the clock when it's still 0-0.
Stranraer 1, Stirling Albion 0. Darren Lang with a goal on 8 minutes, and an Athletic 1, Spartans 0. Tommy Muir on 7 minutes. These are the early goals across Scotland this afternoon. All the goal news for you right here on Open All Mics, and stay with us right through until probably around about 10:30 this evening. We'll finish our stint at 7 o'clock. Between 5:30 and 7 we'll get some fans on, and we've got the man that wrote the tune for our World Cup team heading off to France 98, Justin Curry of Delamitri. I thought it was a great tune, Don't Come Home Too Soon. He's picking the music for us tonight. I don't know what the songs are. Stay tuned for that, and we'll get the fans on. We'll get their thoughts on what they've witnessed from their team today, but also their thoughts and excitement ahead of the World Cup next summer.
Kenny, what about that nonsense last night? What about that World Cup talk?
That was tremendous, Biscuits.
Phone Tom English and ask, go through the expected goal scenario with it.
I loved it. Great entertainment of the highest order, Biscuits. Don't know what you're complaining about. 2 hours. I could have taken another 4 hours of that
from the man.
There's a real chance at St Mirren in St Mirren Stadium. Yeah, I don't know. Stephen Keegan could have a better look at Colin McMenamin. McMenamin was in behind. A really good pass from Phillips. I think the angle was maybe a wee bit too tight, but there was a player in front of me, but it looked as if it nearly sneaked in. I think the goalie made a good save from it. Corner St Mirren.
I think it was a defensive block. It might have been Ross Graham.
Was it?
Collier actually puts him under a little bit of pressure and does really well to take a sting out of the shot. He doesn't manage to generate enough power into it, but it's a good run in behind for Conor McMenamin. He's normally better in those positions. I think his first touch just let him down ever so slightly.
That's nearly a goal there again. Phillips, just from 8 yards out, he'd a free strike at goal. I mean, the box was absolutely packed, and a Dundee United leg got a challenge, and then it's out for a St Mirren corner. It's all St Mirren as we speak.
And you just feel, Stephen, it's important for them today ahead of the cup final to get back on track.
I think Stephen Robbins said that yesterday, speaking to him. He just wants to give the players a little bit of a lift. Subconsciously, you just wonder with players when they're in a cup final and it's a month away, it must play in their mind, it must eat into them. But the fight and the character they showed at Pittodrie on Wednesday night, the way they've started this game tells you they really fancy it this afternoon. Clearly the cup final's on the horizon, they want to be part of it. They're not holding back, and they know getting 3 points would be huge for them, Kenny.
Quick equaliser for Stirling Albion. Stranraer 1, Albion 1. Russell McLean with that equalising goal on 10 minutes. Let's then just got to be bouncing around the grounds again, actually, because these games today can have a big impact on the league position. Dundee at home to Aberdeen. Well, you were saying so important for Stephen Pressey. A credible performance at Celtic Park with that excellent win last weekend at home to St Mirren.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the last word on VAR. We're all speaking negatively. If it's not going away, maybe the next question should be how we improve it. Anyway, the game here this afternoon, Dundee have started in fire. They've had a number of forays forward. They haven't had any clear-cut chances. The best opportunity came for Aberdeen actually on the break. Stuart Armstrong down the left-hand side, clipped one low with his left peg towards the back post, and McCracken get down, made a really good save. But both teams very intent in getting forward. Aberdeen looked up for it as well. I think their run of form has been pretty impressive. Although in terms of results it's been impressive, but perhaps not performances. But that game in midweek against St Mirren, both sides at it, both sides really intent in getting forward, and that's how this game has started this afternoon.
Alloa 1, Peterhead 0, Lewis Stewart on 10 minutes. Kelty Hearts 0, Montrose 1, Blair Lions on 11 minutes. Let's get back to the game at Easter Road, Alan. Hibs for me in a good league position, but I think very inconsistent this season. And you spoke there about the huge travelling support from Falkirk. That's just a terrific story, and I think they're exceeding everyone's expectations this season.
They are, they've been terrific. They're a great watch. I was at Tannadice a couple of weeks ago where they really wiped the floor with Dundee United 3-0, and they've been great. They have been really good on the eye. They've not been in this game at all though, Kenny, in the opening 12 minutes. It's been all Hibs. Scott Bain's done a save, Cadding's had that chance. Hibs have had about 3 or 4 corners already. But you know how we sit at the very back of the main stand. Calvin Miller took some clatter against Rangers, and you can see his eye from as far back as I am. What a mess his eye is in, unfortunately. But still 0-0 here, Kenny, between Hibernian and Falkirk.
Yeah, and you think of the run that Falkirk have been on. Away to Tannadice, away to Ibrox, home to Motherwell, away to Easter Road. And in the first 3 of those games, they got clean sheets.
Yeah, fantastic.
Falkirk have always been famed for their attacking football, but they're showing a little bit of fight and grit.
Ian, you've seen them a couple of times this season. What do you think the strengths are on that side?
Oh, is that a penalty? No, it's been... Satsford went down. You guys have a look at it in the studio. But the referee, I think, may book him. He's not booking him for diving, but he's given a free kick to St Mirren.
Yeah.
It was one of them. I thought he got to the ball first. I thought it might have been a penalty, although it's quite far away from me.
What I would say, Ian, what I would say is the way he goes down, it's a massive over-exaggeration of the fall. So that's why Nick Walsh has went to his pocket. I think he's booked him. So when we get another look at it, we'll come back. But certainly on first viewing, it looked as if it was an over-exageration.
Yeah, Johnson have got a free kick right in the edge of the box. Kenny, Stevie Mallon, I played with Stevie. He's wonderful from these situations. Paul Niso gave the ball away, and he brought somebody down straight into the wall. I expected better after the build-up I gave you, but still 0-0.
We're just trying to get a look. Here's a better angle perhaps here, Stephen.
No.
Not much, Natsa.
Alex Gogic goes to kick him and realises he comes on his blind side and actually pulls his leg away. Sapsford's expecting Gogic's leg to come out. It doesn't, and he throws himself to the ground, almost like a penalty the other night that Dundee United got given against him. Yeah. Will Ferry didn't see Max Aarons coming in and still swung his leg. Gogic did see Sapsford and pulled his leg back, and the attacking player threw himself down, so no penalty.
So good decision by the referee then on the spot.
Spot on, Nick Walsh. Yeah.
Colin, you've seen Falkirk more than me. The guy Lissa on loan for Swansea.
Oh, I tell you what.
Wow. If I'm John McGlynn, I'm rubbering the phone calls in January to take him back.
I mean, he's been playing left back.
Centre half today.
A centre back, I saw him playing centre back the other night, and he absolutely strolled it. I really like the big boy Henderson beside him as well. I think his level of consistency has been terrific. But I mean, they really play Falkirk. They play at a pace, but I love the substitutions. John's made that's now for about 2 years. They've done the same thing. Almost the front four, almost at the hour mark, almost every game. But I love the fact he's teaching them to run beyond. They run beyond so much. I mean, it's not all just playing in front. The amount of times that there is movement beyond the back line, it just happens all the time, from the wide, from the middle, and obviously they've got the Brad Spencer, who always just sits behind the ball. But they've been really refreshing to watch, and they are playing the same way. I think probably with 3 or 4 better players than they did last season, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a great story. Another good story this season has been Motherwell. They're at home to Livingston this afternoon. What's happening in the early stages, Derek?
It's actually Motherwell started really positively. They've had probably predominantly more attacking opportunities. There was a ball came down the right hand side, again played up to sort of beyond the 6-yard box at the far post, and Charles Cook came in but didn't really make good contact with it. Livingston have slowly but surely started bringing themselves into the game. You can see Livingston have been very, very patient. They're not going gung-ho. They're really being careful how they approach the game. Motherwell are so easy on the eye. Livingston have got a corner, came to nothing. So the game's just settled down. It's kind of, both teams are sort of just taking it very, very easy, just trying to suss each other out. The formations, they've shaped up well against each other. Again, Charles Cook just on here on the left hand side, he's a bit of a threat into the corner. But yeah, still 0-0. But I feel a goal coming.
Yeah, easy yellow card there at Easter Road for Dylan Pate. It's a really good run from Mulligan.
Oh, Motherwell!
Yes, Derek.
The ball played to the edge of the box. It was Charles Cook, just was talking, he was down the left hand side and he played it to the edge of the box. I'm just trying to see exactly who it was.
I think it's Elliot Watt.
Elliot Watt, number 20, right footed shot to keeper's right hand side.
Goal at St Mirren Park.
Yes, Ian McCall.
1-0 Motherwell.
It's 1-0 to the home side, to St Mirren. It's a brilliant ball from Declan John into the box. Conor McMenamin found himself free at the back post. He actually did really, really well to get in that area. And by the way, it's a brilliant headed finish. I don't think he's known for his prowess in the air, but great delivery and a great header. St Mirren 1, Dundee United 0.
That's a bullet header at the back post.
Yeah, it is indeed. I have to say,
a lot of pace in the ball as well.
It's a lovely ball, because I'm not too sure who the defender is. Is it Will Ferry? Possibly gets caught under the ball. So McMenamin has all the momentum behind him. Just glides up lovely, powers it into the far corner, just exactly what St Mirren needed. But just having a look at the Motherwell goal, Prior in goal gets a full hand to it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't keep it.
He's got to do better.
I know you're not fussed in goalkeepers, Kenny. You talk about them every week.
I know.
I think in this time, I would side with you. I think he has to do better when he gets a full hand.
He does, but what about the defender just poking it out to the goal scorer? Soft defending is just, yeah.
And that's the one thing with Livingston coming up. The quality's a little bit better. Players are more clinical in the final third. The game's a bit quicker, better strikers. All that's kind of caught up with them a little bit. I know they've conceded a lot of late goals, but that's hurting.
Carlson for Aberdeen, Lajetic on the break. A save from McCracken. It's parried out, and there's Carlson to drive it home. Magnificent strike. And Aberdeen take the lead here at Dens.
Right, Craigs, you're looking at me. You're looking at me. come on.
Can the goalkeeper not hold it? I mean, there's not a lot of power in the shot.
You're right.
Lazatic actually drags the shot and takes the pace off the ball, and the goalkeeper palms it right into the path of Carlson, who just rolls it into the back of the net. It's a great start for Aberdeen. Willie said that Dundee probably have been the better team in certain spells, but when you come to getting that big chance, you've got to take it.
Greg, I haven't seen too many goals from Aberdeen, so you've got to.
That's four.
Just, you've just taken the steam. You've just taken the steam out of my comments.
And actually,
you're absolutely correct. Should have done better.
Willie, just when we had the other goal news before yours, I think, was there a serious injury in your game there?
Yeah, I was just away to tell you about it. It said Joe Wesley's get taken off. Now, it was a throw-in for Aberdeen, so I'm not too sure. There was minimal contact, wasn't a free kick or anything. It went down over the far side. You know where the stanchion is at the right-hand side, Kenny?
Yes.
But you can't see anything. It was there. But here's what I did see. I saw a stretcher going on. And Joe Wesley's still, the stretcher went on and they sent the stretcher away. Joe Wesley's still hobbling round the park as I'm talking just now. Why does he not go onto the stretcher and get himself into the dressing room? I cannot understand that decision.
Wait till these new grounds are all up and running, Dundee and Aberdeen. We can't wait, there'll be no pillars. We'll see everyone, Willie.
No VAR checks on all 3 goals there, Kenny? None at all?
No, nothing yet.
I think VAR's checking the goalkeeper's Rory. I think that's what he's thinking, should he not have saved that?
But for the Carlson goal there, right, I know the goalkeeper parries, and his parries right into the inviting area for Carlson. Any blame attached to the defenders reacting quite slowly to that loose ball?
Well, Lazatic got in behind them for a start, so there's where you start.
Yeah.
A striker gets in behind you. They're playing 3 centre backs. They're big, tall, they're quick centre backs as well, but they've switched off. And Lazatic is in with the initial shot, and that's where I think they've let themselves down. But you're right as well, Tom. You've got to react to it. You've got to react and try to get a body in front of it, of the strike from Carlson, but they didn't.
Plenty of time, isn't he? Plenty of time to pick a spot.
It's a cheat sheet, is it not?
Nah, it was Carlson.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming up as a sheesh and coming through in the wires, Willie. That's
the game, Willie.
I'll ignore that comment. Okay.
Taking my lead from you, Willie.
I was away to send you a text with a big red balloon with a pin going in it, and it says, not yet. I've actually been looking at it for a number of weeks, Biscuits.
Since the start of the season,
I've resisted it.
East Kilbride, 3 quick-fire goals away at Forfar Athletic. They are 3-0 up there. Keir Foster with the latest goal on 20 minutes. Stephen, just come back to that Motherwell opener from Elliot Watt. He's a tidy player, isn't he?
He has, and for a lot of people who watched him last season at St Johnstone, they probably didn't have the same regard for him. Maybe playing in a struggling team, he got caught in the ball a few times, things weren't working for him, but certainly this season he's been, I think he won 3 of the first 4 player of the months at Motherwell, so that tells you how well he's done.
Yeah, good player. Big chance, Al.
First chance for Falkirk after 21 minutes, and it's really good play into Brian Graham in the box. He holds the defender off, rolls it back to Brad Spencer. He takes his first touch away from the defender on his left foot. That's a shot going in. Salinger gets there, just knocks it away. Really good effort. Still 0-0 here.
Kenny, I've been told by Tyrone it was Oushish now that scored the goal. No, I could have sworn it was Carlson. In my defence, they've both got gloves on and short sleeves, but I could have sworn that was Carlson.
And I'm going to be fair to Willie.
Apologies.
No, but I'm going to be fair to Willie. It's a dreadful place to try and see a goal from the back of that stand at Dens Park. Absolutely dreadful. But nonetheless, Aberdeen fans delighted. 1-0 up that goal from Ashish in 70 minutes. Dundee 0, Aberdeen 1. Stranraer 2, Stirling Albion 1. Darren Lang with the second of the game there to put Stranraer back in front.
Wait, Willie, we're talking about VAR. What are we going to do with VAR? We're going to ban VAR. What about footballers wearing gloves? Where do you stand on that?
I would never have it in my dressing room.
Short sleeves. What is any of them got short sleeves on?
They're all short sleeves, yeah.
What's the point?
I know.
Exactly.
And by the way, one's 17 and one is 7 as well. There's another kind of a defence to my mistake. The numbers on their back.
Just forget it, Willie. Just go on with it.
I'm struggling, Ian. When you get to my age, the question.
I know only too well.
Right, let's get into the 3 games in the Championship. Let's get to that game at Somerset Park. Ayr United at home to Partick Thistle, and get the latest from Chris Doolan.
Yeah, Kenny, it's been a good game so far, albeit nobody's really threatened in behind. Thistle are on the attack just now. Both sides are quite well organised in terms of we can see the game plan from both sides. Thistle trying to draw out the wing backs of United to expose the space down the side for Fitzpatrick and Chalmers, and they're doing it really well when they're in possession. They're getting the wing backs nice and high, they're getting plenty of bodies on that back line, and there's been half chances without anything really falling to anybody so far, but it looks as if one goal will spark this game into life.
Right, let's
Yellow
get
card again.
Oh yeah, you go out.
McCann, really good play, drive and run yet again from Mulligan, goes by a couple of players, his jersey's held, he's pulled down. So that's McCann on a yellow card as well, and Tate both for the same thing, fouling Mulligan, who's been very impressive.
Right, let's get to McDermott, Parson Johnson home to Wraith Rovers. How's it looking there, Rory?
Yeah, Jordan Dockett has just flashed one right by the post. But St Johnstone have been on top massively in this game, Kenny. A couple of chances for Stevie Mallon, a couple of chances for Sidibe, a couple of chances for Diabate. McPake's had one as well. Wraith Rovers very much a side who look like they're just trying to get to grips with the way Dougie Emery wants them to play. I do still think Dylan Easton needs to be moved out wide. He's getting the ball and he's always facing his own goal. He needs to get the ball faced up and be driving at people. But they will settle into things, Wraith Rovers, I'm sure. Paul Nisso's having a pretty poor time of it in the middle of the pitch. He keeps giving the ball back to St Johnstone. It's all St Johnstone, but as of yet, it's still 0-0.
Right, let's get to the game in Dingwall. Ross County home to Airdrie. Ian, you're saying earlier on the home side were in control of that one without finding the back of the net?
Yeah, that's right, Kenny. It's fairly even. Airdrie have come back into it. Started to get their key men involved. Jamie Barjonas had a good chance 30 yards out, but couldn't keep his effort down. And in fact hit the way over the jail end. But yeah, Ross County have had the better of the chances. Ronan Hale and James Scott have forced saves from Cade Melrose, but fairly even at the moment. Goalless, but it's a good watch.
Right, let's get to the game then at Fir Park. The home side ahead there, thanks to that goal from Elliot Watt. What's happening now, Derek Lilly?
Game settled down a bit again, Kenny. Livingston have been in possession. They've had a corner, it's been a bit wasted ball into the box, easily cleared away. But you know, Motherwell they're so controlled on how they go about it. Really good link-up play when the ball goes up to the striker, Stammer. You know, number 21, he's just always in behind. Look, he's just following up the play. Looking for those little opportunities, either just in front of the striker or go beyond. And Malinese on the right hand side, he's a constant threat. Yeah, so it's still 1-0 to Motherwell, and yeah, as things stand, I see more goals coming.
Kenny, just on Livingston, they're losing again today. Motherwell, very good side. They gave away a few leads, but you would imagine they'll go on and win this one today, given how they're playing. Livingston play at home to Dundee next week. If that doesn't go their way, is there ever a point where Davy Martindale maybe comes under a bit of pressure, or do you think, given what he's done for the club, that never really happens?
That's a really good point, because I can't think of at any stage that question has been asked in the programme, Tom, but is it a valid one right now?
No, listen, I think Livingston have been here before, and nothing has happened with the manager. I don't think anything is going to happen with the manager, even if they get relegated.
Attack again. Hello. Oh, shot on target, just in the middle. It ball down the left-hand side. It was number 9. I think it was just Watt brought it forward, gave it into number 9, just left of the 18-yard box. Right-footed, bit of a weak effort. Motherwell still on top. 1-0 Motherwell.
Yeah, Rory, I think it's interesting you say that point, because actually the next 2 games are Dundee and St Mirren.
Huge. Yep.
Who are the 2 teams directly above them. So you're thinking, if you want to make ground up on people and you want to try and stay in the fight effectively, you have to start picking up points, particularly against those teams. Otherwise the gap becomes insurmountable. You're right, I agree with you.
Do you think they're a bit unfortunate to be in the position that they're in, Livingston? I mean, obviously apparently they should have had at Ibrox, but I feel they've been very much in games.
Like last week against...
What a strike. Stuart Armstrong, free kick at the angle, left side, about 22 yards out, and he just curls one with his right foot. It hits the upright and bounces to safety. So Aberdeen well on top here, creating opportunities, and Stuart Armstrong showing his class in that opinion.
Yeah, I think they dominated last week against Aberdeen. They've obviously a last-minute goal, a last-second goal against Hearts at home. I think they've been really unlucky, Livingston. They've certainly always been in the games. Mm-hmm. They just can't convert. And that's the thing.
Baskets make a good point, and just what I can see here as well. When Motherwell break forward, the numbers, there's 3-4 players. When Livingston are breaking forward, there's Yengi's up front. There's maybe one trying to get alongside him. So they are sitting that bit deeper. The bodies aren't getting forward, and as goals in it, I think they're just lacking that finishing off those opportunities when they come. There's a real lack of goals in the side.
But you see longer goals and you're not getting the win, then you're losing late goals. I think it's 4 late goals, or 4 goals they've conceded in added time when they've been drawing games, they've ended up losing them. The morale goes, the spirit goes, you lack a little bit of confidence, you miss that buzz of winning a game of football, and the longer it goes, the harder it is sometimes to get it back. And I think that's where Livingston are. They just need to find a win.
You look at the last 4 or 5 games. Lost 2-1 against Motherwell, drew 2-2 against Hibs, drew 1-1 against Falkirk, lost 2-1 against Rangers, lost 1-0 against Aberdeen.
All late ones, yeah.
They're not far off it. Like.
No, that's that.
And it just shows you the value of if they had a decent goal scorer up there, consistent goal scorer. I think they'd be in a different place entirely.
Let me give you
the for me, Tom.
Sorry?
I think XG would be through the roof.
Well, I don't know about their XG, but I could look it up for you if you're desperate to know, Rory.
Oh, he loves how he dig, doesn't he?
I think the closeness of the games is the thing that worries me.
Yeah.
That's the thing that worries me. When you get a team down the bottom and you're going 5, 6, 7 games and you're playing really well and you've got 2 points out of 6 or 7 games, then you start to not play well. That's the worrying thing, particularly at that level, at the bottom of the league.
In the top flight then, Dundee 0, Aberdeen 1, Hibs 0, Falkirk 0, Motherwell 1, Livingston 0, St Mirren 1, Dundee United 0. 8 o'clock start, full commentary to come on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Kilmarnock are at home to Rangers in the Championship. 4 games today, and all of these games are goalless. Ayr United 0, Partick Thistle 0, Dunfermline Athletic 0, Arbroath 0, Ross County 0, Airdrie 0, St Johnstone 0, Raith Rovers 0. Into League One for you this afternoon. Alloa Athletic 1, Peterhead 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Montrose 1, Queen of the South 0, Cove Rangers 0, Stennismuir 0, Hamilton Accies 0. I'll just break off, Alan.
It's a third booking for Motherwell, all against Mulligan, who's running the show here for Hibs. He just cuts across Miller, he brings him down. Mulligan's been outstanding. We touched on it at the start of the programme, possibly a contender for the World Cup squad. He's been magnificent, and that's now 3 players that have been booked, and rightly so, for challenges on Mulligan.
Right, thanks to Alan there. Into League 2 this afternoon for you. There is a full card. Allen Athletic 1, Spartans 0, Edinburgh City 1, Dumbarton 0, Elgin City 0, Clyde 1. Clyde having a great season. Forfar Athletic 0, East Kilbride 3, and Stranraer 2, Stirling Albion 1. And down in England, the full-time score from the lunchtime kick-off: Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 0, Everton 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Manchester City have just gone ahead in their game at home to Sunderland. That goal scored by Ruben Diaz. And Newcastle United have also scored in the 31st minute, 1-0 up at home to Burnley. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Brentford 0. 5:30 start, Leeds United at home to Liverpool. Let's then continue a wee bounce around the grounds back to Willie Miller at Dens Park. The wayside in control there, Willie.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I wouldn't say Dundee are out of it, but it tends to be more on the counter that they're causing Aberdeen a problem or two. Crosses into the box, yes. Not any real opportunities, not any real strikes in goal either. And it's Aberdeen, and Auschis is in. Yes! I've got it right this time. Biscuits. It's Auschis that's clipped it over McCracken into the back of the net to give Aberdeen their second goal. It's a little bit of good fortune. It was rather scrappy in the build-up, but he's got the chance, and it was a brilliant take for him. He's seen the goalkeeper coming out, the goalkeeper goes to the ground, and he just clips it into the roof of the net. 2-0 Aberdeen.
See, this is the problem for Dundee, because you think they're dead and they're out of the fight, and then they pull the result from nowhere, like they did against Celtic at home. They beat Livingston at home, they beat St Mirren at home, they played okay, but they can't back it up. They can't seem to get another result after that and another one after that. They always seem to fall away. 2-0 down looks a long way back, and I would almost say this game's over. There's no way Dundee are going to come back and score 3 goals in this game. It doesn't have that feel to it. Yes, they may carry a threat, but Aberdeen have got too much for them. They beat them 4-0 early in the season. I was at the game. I think Willie was doing it for Aberdeen TV as well. Yep. They were miles better than them.
Nice finish, wasn't it?
Quick anticipation, but he was very quick onto that. Far quicker, obviously, than the Dundee defender. Free scoring Aberdeen, Willie.
Yeah.
When did you think you'd hear those words?
No, you're right. Tom, you know, they've been improving. Certainly the results have been top quality. The performances, I don't think you could say have matched the results. But, you know, the game in midweek was absolutely superb from both sides. And they're moving the ball so much quicker. You know, in games in the past, they've looked lethargic, they looked maybe tired with the European campaign as well. Last couple of, so far this half, it's so sharp, so positive, so intricate, the build-up, and they look really alive. They look a real threat. They look a confident team as well, and a team that is playing in Europe and not using that as an excuse at this moment in time. Well, Sheets is away again. Yeah. He's down. He's running. Oh, it's Lazetic. Oh, it's just by the post. I mean, they're taking Dundee apart at this moment in time. A wee bit like the game at Pittodrie.
But see, you think about those games, Willie, where they went to Kilmarnock and won 1-0.
Yeah.
They won at St Mirren 1-0, beat Livingston 1-0. Okay, they didn't play great, but underneath they're just building that little bit of confidence. They're getting that winning feeling, and now it's as if they're starting to express themselves a little bit more because of the confidence, and they're now starting to show what they're really like in an attacking sense. I agree with you.
Yeah, and you're right, Dundee.
That's what his ball goes down. Penalty.
Oh, right.
And this could be our last man. Lisa, we were talking about him. He pleads his innocence. Boyle goes down. Penalty's given straight away by the referee. Like all, they will be checked. Looked a penalty to me.
By the way, that should have been the third, lob in at the back post. Good save from McCracken from the corner.
Right, here we go, Stephen.
I think Boyle's playing for this. Boyle actually stops, he stands still. Watch him waiting, trying to put his legs at. Look, I think he actually runs the end of the defender. It's clever. It's not going to be overturned because there is clear contact on Martin Boyle. But he actually puts his left foot into the defender's legs. So there's contact. He could have went for the ball, but he left the ball and went for the defender.
The ball was going nowhere, wasn't it? The ball was going towards the dead ball line, and he's waited. He's hung about. He's waited for the contact, and there was contact.
Yeah, so VAR's having a look. I would imagine they're thinking, is it contact from defender to forward or forward to defender?
Right. But it should be quick.
That is my instinct.
But you looking at that, this should be a quick decision.
Let's get the clock on this.
Give Cormac says 48 seconds. They've only got 12 seconds left to make their decision.
There's a massive clock ticking down.
So we've had one look.
Penalty's given.
Yeah, that's a quick decision.
That's decision.
Good.
Well done.
Yeah, so that penalty about to take place there at Eastern Road. Stranraer 3, Stirling Albion 1, Scott Ruff on 33 minutes. Manchester City 2, Sunderland 0, Gvardiol on 35 minutes. That's you up to date with all the goal news. So let's get back to Alan Preston. Massive moment there at Easter Road, Alan.
Yeah, and Hibs have been a better side. Falkirk have got in it the last 10-15 minutes. Not created anything really of anything. Spencer had a shot, but Hibs have had the better of it. 5 or 6 corners. Have now won a
unbelievable chance at St Mirren Park.
Martin Boyle's about to take this. He's going to take it. The referee's trying to clear the box. Martin Boyle will take this right-footed. Scott Bain bouncing on his line. He's been terrific, Bain, for him this season. Can he save it? Boyle's going to come up now, head down. Does that little stuttery run that they all seem to do these days. Strikes it right down the middle. 1-0 Hibs. Martin Boyle.
Yeah, Hibs ahead against Falkirk, and United almost back in at St Mirren Park. Ian McCall.
Yeah, I think it was Freckle in a really, really bad error, allowed the ball, misjudged the bounce of the ball, and it looked like Sartor doing it. He maybe had too much time, and he ran on 1-on-1, and as he was striking it, he never looked convincing, and it was a comfortable save in the end for Shamal George. Dundee United are just starting to play a wee bit, but they need to change something in midfield because Godges and Phillips are running the game in midfield. They were just too strong just now. Think about a good chance as well. Declan John had a great strike from a free kick just over the crossbar, but Dundee United starting to play a wee bit, but it's still 1-0 to St Mirren.
It's interesting, and just watching it, we've got all the 4 games coming in here today, but right from the start today, St Mirren have looked bang at it, haven't they?
Absolutely. Mandron, I think, has been a great focal point for them. The 2 guys I talked about there, Godjic and Phillips, have been really strong and really aggressive in the middle of the pitch. I'm not so sure about the big boy King at the back at times, but Declan John, obviously a really, really important player for him, provided the cross. But Kenny, can I just say one thing? Stephen Craigan's about the VAR decision there, I thought it was a great example. And I know Tom never played, and that's fair enough. I'm not having a go at Tom, but it was a great example of an ex-pro seeing something. A great example of an ex-pro seeing something that maybe a punter wouldn't, because he's played the game. That was a great example.
You mean just in terms of Boyle looking for the contact, stopping and looking for the contact?
Well,
absolutely.
Ian, when you see it back, you'll know what I'm talking about, because Martin Boyle actually stops and puts his left leg out, waiting for the defender to touch it. The minute he feels any kind of contact, the defender's movement is natural. He's running back towards his own goal, and suddenly Martin Boyle's left foot is between his legs because Martin Boyle's put it there.
Yeah, I think we had a discussion about this a couple of weeks ago about having I think there was some pros, some cons about having ex-pros looking at things.
Yeah,
that was a great example, I thought.
No, there's a mix. There's a place for everybody. Ian.
Again, I felt
there's no place for you, by the way.
Ian, I wish you could see his face right now. He's just looking a wee bit sad.
Is he looking sheepish?
He is a wee bit.
No, I've always said that ex-footballers see things that I would never see. But you know, I have my. But
you know what?
I have my purpose. I think.
Tom, I'll get.
Do I? I'm not sure I do.
Tom, I'll give you an example of that. I'll give you an example of that, and I say this on Off the Ball when I speak about the fans in the programme. I love having the fans in the programme. I say no one knows the game like our pundits. No one knows our club like the fans. So we've all got something to bring to the park.
We all have something to do. Looking at that penalty again, Craig, do you think it was defender initiated the impact? Boyle initiated the
Martin O'Boyle. If you look back at his career, the number of penalties he's got by going to the defender or putting his body in front of the defender or putting his leg towards the defender when the ball is the easier and the better option. But he draws free kicks, or he draws penalties.
Do you think it was a penalty then?
I think no.
Really?
You don't think that was a penalty?
No, I think on Martin Boyle's movement towards the defender, there's no.
Wow.
The defender can't do anything.
I'm surprised at that.
The defender can't do anything.
Cameras.
You've obviously been stung by that a few times, have you, Craig?
Oh, totally, yeah. And none of them are my fault.
But he does catch him, and Boyle hangs about. You're dead 100% right.
He catches the defender. I think.
Really?
That's my conscious
take on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, okay.
Maybe it wasn't a good example.
I'm still allowed to be truthful.
Right, Kelty Hearts 0, Montrose 2, a Tamaware own goal there. Let's get back to that game at Fir Park. Motherwell ahead against Livingston. Derek Lilly's there for us today. At the home side, looking in total control, Derek, and also your first viewing of Motherwell in the flesh. What have you made of them?
Yeah, they've been very easy on the eyes, as I've said, Kenny. You know, they move the ball so quickly. They get back in, they take up good positions, they make it really difficult to break them down, but they break so slickly. Ball goes up to number 9, just playing in off him. Charles Cook on the left, Malinese on the right hand side. You know, the four of them all look to get forward, and they always pose a threat. To be fair, the game, you know, Livingston are making it hard for them. They're keeping a good shape, but again, they're really lacking anything in the final third in terms of efforts on goal. We've had a couple of bookings. It was Charles Cook get booked, and just slack pass, and he just typical striker trying to win the ball back. It was a late one against Stevie May on the left hand side. A booking for him again. Motherwell break it down the left hand side, bit of a cynical foul, bringing them down. But you know, Motherwell still on top, still looking relatively comfortable, and 1-0 Motherwell.
Right, let's get to the 3 games we're covering in the Championship today. Let's go back to Somerset Park. Ayr United at home to Partick Thistle. Chris Doolan, what's the latest?
Well, for the number of corners, Kenny, actually, it looks like both sides quite threatening from corners, and it maybe says a lot about the game that both teams are threatened at that end.
What a goal that is! 2-0 he hits Bowie. Once again, though, it's Mulligan, picks out Bowie. One touch to control, and then I'm right behind it. He bends that into the far corner. Wonderful finish. 2-0 Hibernian.
Yeah, it looked a great finish.
Yeah, I have to say, do you know what the thing is, Alan? He doesn't try and put too much pace on the ball. He goes for accuracy. It's easy in that position. Probably a month ago when Kieran Bowie was struggling to get goals, he was trying to smash everything. He's wanting to hit it as hard as he could. But he's got his goal in the last couple of weeks. When the ball comes to him from Josh Mulligan, he just shifts it from right foot onto his left foot and nonchalantly actually just dinks it into the far top corner. Scott Baines at full stretch. Look at there, look, just a little clip into the far corner. Scott Baines at full stretch, can't get anywhere near it. And that's another player, if you can get him scoring goals between now and the end of the season, would like to think he's in with a chance of getting on the plane of going to America.
Yeah, he's been very, very impressive.
No backlift there. It was very slick finish.
But what I'm saying is, if you'd watched him a month ago, he looked half the player he is now. Because he was lacking confidence, he couldn't get a goal.
That's a great finish.
Nothing was falling for him. Now, that's a natural finish of a striker who's feeling good about himself.
Mulligan again involved. I mean, he's terrific.
Been outstanding. Tom is the best player in the park by quite a considerable way. Excellent. Good energy, taking people on, driving at defences. Excellent.
Yeah, very, very good in the home side.
Falkirk in proper trouble. 2 goals down. They've also got 4 yellows in the first 34 minutes. This is a long, long day for them.
Right, let's go back to Chris Doolan. Chris, just to bring us up to date and things down there at Somerset Park.
Yeah, and I think just as you come to me, Kenny, Logan Chalmers has just had a chance. They've broke up. Ayr have actually broke up the pitch and they've been hitting the counter. Patrick Redding hits a brilliant crossfield pass to Logan Chalmers, who runs maybe 30-40 yards, cuts inside and he clips over the bar. I think he tries to chip the goalie on the angle. Even on his good left side, he's very, very good technically. I think he can step inside and even go closer to the goals. But he tries to lift it dead early and it flights over the bar. But it's a couple of times Thistle have threatened on that counter-attack with the pace. Fitzpatrick, Chalmers, and they'll just need to be careful they don't get caught and they don't leave it man for man at the back. But like I said earlier, I think both teams have shown quite a threat from set plays. Both sides have got quite a physical team on the pitch, and I think guys like Dylan Watrett and Patrick Redding up against each other is a terrific battle today.
St Johnstone have been a really good watch for most of the season, you'd have to say. Rory, how are they looking today?
Well, Paul Hanlon's just absolutely wiped out Adama Sidibe, and he's gone in the book, quite rightly so. He was bearing down on goal as well, but it was a yellow card overall. St Johnstone have done well in the first 15-20 minutes. The game's turned a bit scrappy. They're guilty of overplaying at times around the edge of the box. Adam Forrester's had a couple of really good runs, and you're thinking, shoot, try and bend one into the corner. Ask the question of the goalkeeper, but they want to play that extra pass constantly. It's given Raith Rovers time to regroup, get back in and defend. Raith Rovers himself had a huge opportunity from a corner. Jordan Docherty rose highest and right in the middle of the goals, headed it straight at the goalkeeper, Toby Stewart, either side of the goalkeeper, and it was a goal for Raith Rovers. However, neither team are able to capitalise on their chances so far, and it remains 0-0.
And the frustrations continue for the home fans up there in Dingle, Noel.
Yeah, indeed, Kenny. That's the half-time whistle just gone 0-0 at the break. In fact, Airdrie goalie Kate Melrose has pulled off some great saves in the last 10 or 15 minutes or so. County going really close. They've been really good today, Ross County. Airdrie have just started to shade back into the game. They had a really good appeal for a penalty with Ryan Duncan. I think handballed it in the 18-yard box. But yeah, it's an intriguing one, this one. All to play for in the second half. Goalless at the interval. Ross County 0, Airdrie 0.
Queen of the South 0, Cove Rangers 1, Adam Emsley on 43 minutes. Let's get back to the game at Dens Park. Willie Miller is there for us. Anything at all, Willie, from the home side?
Yeah, they've got a little bit of control of the ball in the last 5, maybe 10 minutes, and they've pushed Aberdeen back. Aberdeen are folding back, getting close to half-time, obviously. So, I think the Dons are quite happy at 2-0 and just trying to see it out. But, a bit of credit to Stephen Presley's out there in his box, right at the edge of his line, trying to urge his players forward, and they're certainly responding to it. They haven't really still created opportunities.
Half-time at McDiarmid Park, 0-0.
Places, but nothing ever comes of it. So they just need to show a little bit more composure, I would suggest.
Half-time at Somerset, Kenny, 0-0.
Thanks, guys. Still playing through there in Paisley, McCall.
Yeah, there's a minute added on. I think we're well into that now. Jim Goodwin has a bit of work to do at half-time, I think. Still 1-0 to the home team. Yeah,
got a United fan joining us late at the programme. The fans return today because that kick-off, the late kick-off tonight, is actually at 8 o'clock, not the usual 5:45. So between 5:30 and 7 o'clock, fans on from various clubs. We'll talk about their club side. We'll also get the reaction to the World Cup draw. How are they feeling ahead of things in next summer? Have any of them actually started to make some plans? Some music as well tonight. Justin Curry, the Delamitri frontman, he'll pick the tunes. It's a Saturday evening after all. And
time at Easter Road, Kenny. Hibernian 2, Falkirk 0.
Thanks, Alan. And the build-up to the Rangers game at Rugby Park. Rangers away
to Mirren Park, Kenny. 1-0 to the home side.
Thanks, guys. So Rangers away to Kilmarnock tonight, 8 o'clock start. The coverage will build up there from 7 o'clock with David Curry and the guys down there at Kilmarnock. So plenty to look forward to. We're on the telly today, BBC One Scotland, from 4:30 until round about 5:15. So plenty more to bring you on Sports Sound right across the country this afternoon. So stay tuned. We'll bring you the half-time reports right here on BBC Radio Scotland.
Football from Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Lots of action, lots of drama right across the country. Let's get the very latest now from Willie Miller. He's at Dens Park, Dundee, at home to Aberdeen.
I am, and I can't give you the half-time score, Kenny, because we've still got 4 minutes to play here at Dens. But the report so far, the report card for Aberdeen has been first class. To be honest, they've been really slick. Their movement has been excellent. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and they've got the 2 goals that kind of makes that statement. And they've had other opportunities as well. The first goal, Lazatic put through. He strikes a ball towards McCracken. It's not the most powerful shot. It's parried right out in front of Auchiche, who makes no mistake as he drives it low into the back of the net. Stuart Armstrong had a free kick, left hand side. He curls it with the right foot. It smacks off the post and comes back out. Auchiche gets the second goal, and he's cool and calm. It was again slight build up, but a little bit of good fortune as it broke in the box, but it was so quick onto it, and then he had to show the composure, and he did. He just get his head over it and clipped it over McCracken and into the roof of the net. It was quite a sensational finish from him. Loban had a chance just after that from a corner kick. The ball comes over to the back post, and the youngster latches onto it, strikes it low, but it's a really good save from McCracken. As far as Dundee are concerned on the break, they look as though possibly they might be able to do something, but whenever they get into the final third, Aberdeen's defensive set-up is too strong for them. They haven't been creative enough, so they've really not created any opportunities of note, so that's why at half-time it's 2-0 Aberdeen.
Thank you to Willie Miller. Next stop, Easter Road, Hibs at home to Falkirk. Let's get the half-time report from Alan Preston.
Well, it's a Burnie 2, Falkirk now, Kenny, and thoroughly deserved it. Good performance by Hibs as early as the 4th minute. Iredale had a shot, well saved by Bain, out for a corner, and that was the theme of it. They had a lot of corners, Hibs, in that opening period. Cadden then had a shot, and the ball just got stuck under his feet, couldn't get his feet out quick enough, and he shot over the top of the crossbar. Spencer then, up the other end, had an effort, good knockdown by Brian Graham, and his shot well saved by Salinger. But the opening goal came in 36 minutes. Lissa catches Boyle. It's a nice move by Hibs. Boyle slows down, feels the contact. It's a penalty kick all day long. After a quick check, the referee gives it, and Martin Boyle steps up and coolly slots the ball right down the middle of the goal to put Hibs 1-0 up. It was 2-0, 41 minutes. Mulligan again to Kieran Bowie, one touch on his right foot and curled it with his left into the top corner. Magnificent finish by him. Josh Mulligan has been absolutely unplayable in that opening 45 minutes. Falkirk, big 45 ahead, 4 yellow cards, but the last time they played Hibs, they were 2-0 down and drew 2-2. Half-time score, Hibs 2, Falkirk 0.
Thanks, Alan. Next stop, Fir Park. Motherwell are at home to Livingston. Let's get the half-time report from Derek Lilly.
Yeah, it's Motherwell 0, Motherwell 1, Livingston 0. Yeah, we got off to a good start. Motherwell on the front foot, as you'd expect, given their vein of form recently. Mawanisi on the right-hand side, always a threat. Charles Cook on the left-hand side, getting down. There was a couple of opportunities early on. They hit the byline. It was a weak effort into the box, and it was dealt with easily with the Livingston defenders. Then on 18 minutes, we opened up with scoring. Elliot Watt at the edge of the box. Charles Cook had laid it back, and it was a tidy finish, 20 yards out, right-footed to the keeper's right-hand side. Keeper had no chance. After that, Motherwell still the positive, looking to add to their tally. Livingston, they were a bit more resolute, were sitting in, making it difficult for Motherwell, making it difficult to break them down. The game started to sort of get a little bit scrappy with a couple of bookings, nothing serious, just some slack passes. But yeah, nothing really else to report on the half. I'd say, Motherwell still always look a threat. When that ball goes up front, they break so quickly. I think Dean McCall talked recently just about how quickly they move the ball, and they do it very, very quickly, and they break forward with a purpose. So it's still on top, and from Fir Park it's Motherwell 1, Livingston 0.
Thank you.
At Dens, Kenny, 2-0.
Thanks to Willie, thanks to Derek Lilly there at Fir Park. Let's then get to the game in Paisley. St Mirren at home to Dundee United, and hear from Ian McCall.
Yes, Kenny, it's 1-0 to the home side. They've been terrific from the first whistle. They look, it's well seen they've got a cup final next week, because every single player on the pitch is looking as if they want to play from the start. They had a real good early chance in 9 minutes, a good Phillips pass, McMenamin getting behind. It was a good block by Dundee United skipper Graham. But the goal came in the 16th minute. Great cross from Declan John. I know Stephen Robinson has been saying he's been a very important player for him. Well, it was an outstanding cross, all the pace in the ball. Still needed finished, and it was a great header from McMenamin that put the home side up. They could have went further ahead. Declan John had a free kick that I think it may just have skimmed the top of the bar. It was a really, really good strike. The United haven't threatened at all, but on about the 35th minute though, they had a great chance to equalise. Freckleton in the St Mirren defence misjudged a long, hopeful punt forward, to be honest. And Satford was allowed to run in 1v1 with Shamal George. He looked as if he had too much time. He should score, but Shamal George made a comfortable save. It looks like a master stroke for Stephen Robinson playing Alex Gogic in midfield. He's been terrific, and so have the home side. At St Mirren Park, it's St Mirren 1, Dundee United 0.
Thank you to Ian McCall there in Paisley. Next stop, Somerset Park, Ayr United at home to Partick Thistle. Let's hear from Chris Doolan.
Yeah, and it's Ayr 0, Partick Thistle 0 at half-time, Kenny. Probably Partick Thistle look a bit more threatening in the first half, certainly. And both keepers have made sort of routine saves. Ayr actually had the first best chance of the game after 7 minutes. Scott McCann put in a terrific low cross, and it was met by Ethan Walker about 6-7 yards out, who connected really well. But Josh Clark made a terrific save. It spun up for a corner. And I think both sides after that both had corners. Both looked threatening from corners as well, but one thing Thistle have done is they've broke away and they've hit them on the counter a couple of times just to show that pace that they have. And in 27 minutes Ben McPherson broke down that right hand side and he sent a low cross across the box, which was met by Ben Stanway. He connected well and got a low shot, but Liam Russell had a very routine save, but enough to threaten that they can make the box. And then later in the half, Ethan Walker burst in behind Thistle's back line and he hung up a brilliant cross to the back post, and it took a last-ditch header from Luke Macbeth to turn it out for yet another corner, and just another threat that Ethan Walker shows that he's got the pace to go in behind as well. And probably later on, that pace at the top end of the pitch for Thistle. Aidan Fitzpatrick, a corner for Ayr United, they countered out, and it was 3v3. Aidan Fitzpatrick cuts in, hits a shot straight down the middle, the goalkeeper saves it, but the biggest chance of the half came in 42 minutes. Logan Chalmers breaks away after a brilliant crossfield ball from Patrick Redding, and he runs 30-40 yards with the ball, and he just takes his shot too early and lifts it up over the bar when it might have been on to make a better decision and drive a wee bit closer into the box. But at half-time it's Ayr United 0, Partick Thistle 0.
Thanks to Chris Doolan. Next stop, McDermott Park, St Johnstone at home to Wraith Rovers. A half-time report comes from Rory Loy.
Yes, indeed. It's currently St Johnstone 0, Wraith Rovers 0 at half-time. Not dissimilar to Chris's game, to be fair. No goals, but a good few chances, especially for the home side. The first two coming within the first 8 minutes, 57 seconds for the first one, and bang on 8 minutes for the second one. It was Diabate header from first a corner and then a wide free kick. He should have done better with both. However, he managed to head wide and over, respectively, to keep the score at 0-0. On to 10 minutes, and Josh McPake showed lovely feet in the middle of the pitch, danced around a few, but his shot was a bit tame and went just wide. Then the best move of the match came for the home side. Morgan Boyce played a nice early ball into Stevie Mallon, who switched the play out to the other side to Smith, who knocked it back into Mallon, and then his shot stung the palms of Josh Ray. However, it remained 0-0. Then Sidibe had his effort on goal, which was parried by Ray, and then a huge opportunity in 33 minutes for Wraith Rovers to take the lead. Their only opportunity of the game, truth be told. It was a corner met by Jordan Docherty, 6 yards out, middle of the goals. His header was straight at Toby Stewart, who just collected the ball, no problem at all, either side, and it would have been 1-0 Wraith Rovers. The rest of the match, or the rest of the half even, was really quite scrappy, to be honest, towards the end. Wraith Rovers do show signs of coming into the game, and early on they were just finding their feet, I think, under the new manager. So be interesting to see what the second half brings and how patient the home fans will be, as it is 0-0 at half time.
Thank you to Rory Loy there at McDermott Park. Let's then get to the game in Dingwall. Ross County at home to Ayr. Hear from Ian Auld.
Yeah, goalless in Dingwall, Kenny. This one's been a good watch, though, with the home side having the better of the game's chances. Ryan Duncan volleyed over at the back post from a Dean Cornelius cross only 3 minutes into the contest, a sign of things to come. Airdrie goalie Cade Melrose has been busy with saves from Ronan Hale and Jordan White, but the best of the stops came on 22 minutes when he made himself big to block with the legs to prevent James Scott. Airdrie haven't worked Trevor Carson at the other end, but have enjoyed some really good possession. Ewan Henderson and Chris Mockery heavily involved. They had a shout for a penalty with Ryan Duncan appealing to handle in the county box, but to no avail. These two clubs have conceded 51 goals between them this season, but at the break, half-time Ross County 0, Airdrieonians 0.
Thank you to Ian Auld. So the half-time scores across the country in the Premiership: Dundee 0, Aberdeen 2, Hibs 2, Falkirk 0, Motherwell 1, Livingston 0, St Mirren 1, Dundee United 0. Kilmarnock against Rangers kicks off at 8 o'clock. Full commentary to come on Sports Round right here on BBC Radio Scotland. In the Championship, Ayr United 0, Partick Thistle 0, Dunfermline 0, Arbroath 0, Ross County 0, Airdrie 0, St Johnstone 0, Wraith Rovers 0. Into League One, Alloa Athletic 1, Peterhead 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Montrose 2, Queen of the South 0, Cove Rangers 1, Stennismuir 0, Hamilton Accies 0, and in League 2 this afternoon, Annan Athletic 1, Spartans 1, Edinburgh City 3, Dumbarton 0, Elgin City 0, Clyde 1, Forth Athletic 0, East Kilbride 3, Stranraer 3, Stirling Albion 1, and down in England full-time score, Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 0, that's a half-time, as are all these others. Everton 2, Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester City 2, Sunderland 0, Newcastle United 2, Burnley 0, Burnley down to 10 men, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Brentford 0, 5:30 start. Leeds United are at home to Liverpool.
With Scottish football flying high on the world stage, 3 teams are on the hunt for European glory.
In on the right foot, brilliant shot, brilliant goal!
Sportsound brings you live commentary from the Europa League as Rangers take on Ferencváros.
JD Gassama to spark Rangers into life.
And Celtic host Roma.
Top of the goalkeeper,
Plus live coverage of the Conference League as the Dons take on Strasbourg at Pittodrie.
Aberdeen right back into this.
European football on Sportsound, where Europe comes to play. Thursday evening from 5:35. Listen on digital radio or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland.
Yes, lots to look forward to right across the week on BBC Radio Scotland Sportsound, as ever has you covered. Stephen Craig and Tom Inglis alongside me here in the studio. Just looking at the half-time score, Stephen, in the top flight, you spoke of some really interesting looking matches today. You know, Hibs back on track, Dundee real concerns, Motherwell probably as you'd expect ahead against Livingston, and St Mirren looking a lot more like themselves today.
Well, that was the big one, because Dundee United have been in a poor run, St Mirren have been in a poor run. They've raised the bar over the past couple of seasons, so when you're on a dip of form, I mean, Jim Goodwin said it during the week after the Rangers game that his players have to turn up every week, because they've had good results at Easter Road, they've had good result at Tynecastle, they beat Aberdeen, they beat St Mirren at home, they drew at Ibrox. So they've shown they can compete when the stakes are a little bit higher, or the higher profile teams. It's just when they go away from home, when they go to St Mirren, likes of Falkirk, I think they got to point that. But they have to dig out that consistency a little bit more. The Dundee United on Wednesday night was much more like the Dundee United earlier in the season. Really good going forward, good strong in midfield. Kamara was excellent. Sapsford's pace down the outside, Muller, Fata, really good, strong, powerful. But that hasn't come to the fore often enough. And I think we're witnessing that again this afternoon. But also you've got to give St Mirren credit. They're a strong, aggressive team. They feel unjust in some of the decisions that VAR's gone against them. They feel a little, probably at times felt sorry for themselves. They've lost heart a little bit too easily. But Stephen Robinson said after Wednesday night's game, this has to be the turning point. Getting that late goal, you think back to Hibs last season, the turning point, they got the late goal against Aberdeen. Stephen Robinson wanted his team's Wednesday night's performance, the timing of the goal, to be the turning point. It certainly has looked that way in the first half. Yeah, it really has. And I think on the first half performances, the biggest concerns right now would be for Dundee fans. We'll see if they can get back into that game up there at Dens against Aberdeen. They currently trail by 2-0. So all the second half action to come right here on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
This is Open All Mics from Sportsound.
Go! Go! From BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome back to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Lots to discuss this afternoon, and don't forget, after 5 o'clock we'll get confirmation of exactly where Scotland's group games at next summer's World Cup finals will be played. There was due to be a Scottish Cup tie today, a third round tie between Tranent and Inverness Carrick-Thistle. The pitch is not playable, so that game has been postponed again. We'll give you news of any new date on that one. So let's then just get a wee bounce around the grounds now. They're slightly behind at Dens Park, so let's make our first stop Easter Road. I can see they're just coming out back out onto the pitch. Alan Preston is there for us. It's going to be a long way back for Falkirk, Alan.
It is, yeah, but I think they're making a couple of changes. Aguiman looks like he's coming on, and Cartwright will just see who's going off. But they've got to take comfort, Falkirk, is that, you know, they've done really well. They've been 8 clean sheets, winning games, performing well. Just didn't really turn up in that first half. It's been difficult for them. But all credit to Hibs, and especially Mulligan. I said it in my report there. He's been running the show. He's been quite terrific. 3 Falkirk players out of 4 were booked for fouls on him because he's driving runs from the middle of the park were causing all sorts of concern. We were just about to get started, Kenny. There is 2 changes for Falkirk, just about to come on.
Thanks to Alan Preston. Let's get to the game at Fir Park. Derek Lilly is there for us. Motherwell against Livingston. Looking at your former club, Livy there. It's imperative, Derek, they get the next goal in this one.
Yeah, as they get into the second half, just kicked off, Kenny, and already Motherwell had a free kick on the right hand side, ball into the box. I think it was Yengi actually just tried to clear it and scooped it over his own bar, and then there was a Motherwell corner. It came to nothing, but you're absolutely spot on. You know, it is imperative to get that goal. I think it's been fundamental. They do keep themselves in games. You know, it is only 1-0. You know, they've just got to try and find that goal. Unfortunately, they're up against a very, very good Motherwell team that you just feel as if they've got another level. When they want to step up, they can step up, and they're going to cause a lot of problems, but they've just got to hang in there and hopefully they'll get a chance.
What interests me about Motherwell, not just the style of play, we've spoken about a lot. I know they changed it in the home victory, Stephen, over Hibs. It's the amount of changes the managers make to his personnel.
That clearly tells you, as a coach, he trusts the players that he's working with, that the system he has, the setup, irrespective of who comes into the team, they know the role, Kenny. You're not bringing a player into the team who doesn't understand the rotations and the movement and the structure and the style that they're doing. Now, I know in the early part of the season we were slightly critical of them, but it's because a lot of the time the possession was without purpose. They lacked the cutting edge. Their game management without the ball wasn't great. They left themselves exposed and open. They've eradicated all that. So that's why now they look so comfortable in games. Irrespective of who they play against, nothing changes. Irrespective of who plays in their team, nothing changes. That's a great place to be for consistency. That's exactly what they're getting. He's now built a squad. They lack a real out-and-out number 9. If they're a really prolific goal scorer, like a Kieran Bowie, for example, or Lawrence Shankland, I know we're talking Scottish Premiership, but Motherwell would easily have another 5 or 6 points on the board because they create numerous chances throughout games and don't always put teams away.
Yeah, Motherwell fans absolutely loving what they're seeing this season. Let's then get to the game in Paisley. Ian McCall's there for us, St Mirren with the advantage over Dundee United. Good value for that, Ian?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they're 2 or 3 minutes into the second half, and Jim Goodwin has changed one player, but has changed the shape of the team as well. He's taken Seville's off and put on Fat, and he's changed from 3-5-2 to, I think, more normal what Dundee United have been playing this season, almost 3-4-3. So they've been a bit more positive, but you know, it's only been 2 or 3 minutes in the game so far, but he's been proactive to try and change and try and get into the game and be an attacking force within it.
Right, let's get into the Championship. I think it's fair to say, Chris, we were all expecting goals down there at Somerset Park. No goals so far, but sounds like a decent game.
Yeah, Kenny, it's actually been a decent first half, and there's another corner. I don't know how many corners there's been, but Ayr United have just got one, and it literally has been a game of corner kicks so far. There's been a change at half-time. Nick McAllister's came on for Liam Dick, who fell awkwardly in the first half. And they've made that change. The shape's still the same.
Nearly equalised there. There's a ball fell at the edge of the box. Number 7 for Livingston. What a strike! What a great save from the Motherwell goalkeeper. It's out for a corner.
Yeah, great play all round there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I have to say it's a smart save from Callum Ward. He catches it so sweet in the head. Is it Sososo?
Sososo, yeah.
So it is. It catches it so sweet. I mean, you think it's fizzing towards the top corner, but Callum Ward does really well. Throws himself across the goal. And just exactly what Livingston need. When you're a team who are struggling, you need to get yourself back in the fight. You can get level in the game suddenly. That confidence starts to flow as the game goes on. So Davy Martindale will be desperate for his team to get back level.
Great strike, great save there at Fir Park. Let's get to the game at McDermott Park. You'll be surrounded by the home fans, whatever position is there, Rory. They're getting a little restless.
No, they're okay so far. You know, St Johnstone have been good in the game. They really have, Kenny. They've just not managed to convert any of the chances they created. Having said that, the second half of the first half, the standard did drop ever so slightly, and Raith, I don't want to say came into the game, that would be a stretch too far, but they were more competitive. So maybe as the game rolls on, maybe a Partick Thistle goal, if that filters through, then they'll start to get on their backs a little bit. But at this moment in time, you know, they're playing away fine. Raith Rovers have made a substitution. Ross Matthews has come on for Paul and Seal. I did think he was a bit off it in the first half. However, young lad on loan for Rangers. Guy I know.
Have a look at this, sorry, have a look at this in the studio. Henderson with Bashiri, they were at it. The referee, the corner to Falkirk, the referee stops it. Has a word with the two of them. Henderson then goes down in the box again when the corner comes in. They're wanting a penalty. Didn't see a lot in it, but certainly screaming for a penalty kick.
Yeah, I think he has a hold of him ever so slightly, Alan, but Liam Henderson throws himself down theatrically trying to draw a penalty kick from the referee, but not a penalty.
No, I think that's a correct call from Craggs there. He's certainly looking for that one. Let's get to the game between Ross County and Airdrie. Ian, you were saying a reasonable first half performance from the home side. You cover that beat for us up there. Do you think there's genuine concern that there could be real relegation woes for County this season?
I don't think there's, at the moment, there's certainly nothing from the home crowd to suggest there's any concerns, but you know as well as I do, Kenny, when things aren't going for you, they really aren't, and if things take a turn for the worse, then County could be in trouble. But at this moment in time, they are obviously second bottom. They're playing well today. They're playing really well. Airdrie, to be fair, are putting in a shift as well. It's a really even game, but I think County have got enough to get clear. But we keep saying that.
Yeah, just looking at the table, Craggs, Airdrie, looking at the live table, Airdrie 12 points, Queen's Park 13 points, Ross County 13 points in. There's that bit of a gap up to Raith Rovers. It's a real scrap down there at the moment.
Well, it is, considering Ross County were most people's favourites to win the title, and mine included, because you just looked at their recruitment over the summer, the players they brought in, you thought, OK, they've recruited from the league above, players who have won this league before. They know how the game works, they'll be able to get over games, and they've really struggled. Ronan Hale was another one, got plenty of goals, so they should be okay on that front. But it's been a disastrous start, it really has. And everyone thought when Tony Dockery went in, it would just magically change. But it hasn't. So January will be a big month for them. But Ross County aren't just looking to stay in the table, they need to be in the playoffs. Roy McGregor will be demanding in the playoffs the top four. What I think they are, how many points are they behind? 10, 11 points behind the playoffs, so that's a big push.
Yeah.
Is it a step too far? It looks at this stage, Kenny.
I mean, Ian, it's interesting because I think you used the word lazy before. Am I correct in saying you thought that the recruitment from County in the summer?
Sorry, Kenny, we're getting a check here.
All right, hold on,
for what I don't know.
Yeah, it's a penalty, Alan. I can't think didn't see who the Falkirk player was. Has the strike?
Yeah, it's a shot, but it's not. It's now been waiting to play on. But again, people in the stadium have no clue what it's the stoppage is for.
I have to say, Dodds hit his hand. His hand is slightly out with his body, but it's not unnaturally outside his body, so I think it's the right call.
Right, is that a goal or something?
No, it's an offside decision. Josh McPake ran down the left-hand side for St Johnson and cut it back to Stevie Mallon, who tucked it away really nicely. It looks tight, the offside. However, no VAR, of course, in the Championship. Stevie Mallon did have the ball in the back of the net, chopped off. Remains St Johnson 0, Raith Rovers 0.
Ian McCall, just going back to that County recruitment, I think that's the word that you used before, lazy. It's a big January ahead for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I thought it was, the profile of about 5 or 6 different players is exactly the same. And I know they pay very, very good wages up there. So a number of my old players went up there. So I don't think there was any kind of legs, energy.
That's it. What they need, Collie, is legs completely.
That type of thing that you really need. It's not just in the Championship, you need it at any level of football, particularly in the Championship and the Premier League. So I don't think I just think they thought we'll get named players, we'll be able to get them up here because we'll pay them a few quid. I mean, this is probably, a wee bit too much, but we'll pay them that, we'll get them up here.
And would you believe it?
Ross County.
It's for Airdrie.
There we go.
Wow.
To be fair, Kenny, Airdrie they haven't had enough belief for me going forward this afternoon, and they've had plenty in the last minute or so. They've started to get more on the ball, more in the second half, and it's a well-worked goal down the right-hand side, pull it back in. Chris Mockery involved, and it's Lewis McGrattan who's tucked it in from just inside the area. Trevor Carson, who's not had a save to make all afternoon, helpless, ball into his bottom left-hand corner. Ross County 0, Airdrie Unions 1.
That could be a huge goal for Airdrie. Just elsewhere, Kelty Hearts 0, Montrose 3. Callum Sandilands with the third goal there. Edinburgh City rampant at home to Dumbarton in this loss, and with the fourth goal on 47 minutes, and confirmation that huge goal up in Dingwall. Ross County 0, Airdrie 1. As things stand, that is the only goal in the Scottish Championship so far this afternoon. So what a goal, what a game this could be for Airdrie if they can hang on for the win up there in Dingwall. Let's get back to the Premiership. Willie Miller, you're back underway, slight delay to the second half up there at Dens Park. It feels like a long way back for the home side, Willie.
Well, it is, but they're shooting down the hill as well, and they've started pretty positively in the second half. Aberdeen struggling to get control of the ball, to get it into the Dundee half, and Dundee's obviously come out with some strong words ringing in the ear from Stephen Presley, and certainly putting a lot of effort into it. They still lack that composure though, that quality all over the pitch, to be perfectly honest, but particularly in the attacking third. So Aberdeen struggling a little bit to gain that control. And Dundee have started the game positively, but they need the next goal. They absolutely need the next goal. Still 2-0 here for the visitors.
Thank you to Willie Miller. Let's then get to the game at Easter Road. Hibs against Falkirk. Alan Preston is there for us. The Wayside giving it a bit of a go in the second half.
A lot better, more of an even contest in the second half. Hadjiman just goes down in the box. Never a penalty, goes down so easily. But Falkirk have started really well. Brian Graham's one that's gone off. Tate's gone off as well, who was booked in that opening period. Hadjiman's on, Cartwright's on for them. So a bit more pace at the top end of the pitch. But Hibs are still leading 2-0.
Derek Lilly is at Fir Park for his Motherwell against Livingston, the home side with the advantage there, Derek. But at least Davy Martindale's side giving it a right go. They brought out a tremendous save from the well keeper.
Yeah, it was nice to see to give them a lift, getting that opportunity. But I think it's systematic this season, they get chances like that, and you're hoping that one of them could be put away. But unfortunately for Livingston, it was a great save by the Motherwell goalkeeper. Motherwell are getting into their stride again now in the second half. They've been pretty comfortable. Livingston are trying to make it really difficult for them, but it could be a tough afternoon for Livingston. Still 1-0 Motherwell.
Derek, every time I look at this screen and watch the game, there's a Livingston player fouling a Motherwell player. It's as if they're trying to get close, but their timing's just that split second off.
You're absolutely right, Craigs. It is. It's just here we are. It's a penalty. It's a penalty for Motherwell.
Oh right, okay, we'll get a wee look here.
Yeah, it looked very obvious when I'm sitting right just in front of me. The full-back, number 22, cut inside the Livingston defender, and it looked as if it was contact. I'm trying to see what it was. I think it was 15 for Livingston that brought him down. Just clipped his heels.
Just cut right across him there, didn't
cut across him. It was good obviously playing, getting in front, and it was a bit lazy by the defending player at the time, and it's a penalty.
Oh, what a save!
Right, we'll come back to Alan Preston.
That's Ethan Ross. It's a really good move by Falkirk. They're defending at one end. 3 passes later, they're up the other end. Ethan Ross cuts inside Cadden. Right foot shot, gone on the top bin. Salinger diving to his left-hand side, tipping it away for a corner. Really good play by Falkirk and a great save.
Right, I think you're allowed to comment on this, Tom English. We're having a look at that penalty shot. I think you go first.
Tell the truth, member.
It's Trumbus, isn't it?
Motherwell just getting ready to take the penalty. Number 9's on it.
That's not a penalty.
Honestly, it looks so soft.
Yeah.
So one of the softest. But all they have to justify is if there's any kind of minimal contact, the referee gives the penalty.
Number 9 to take it for Motherwell.
It's subjective.
Here we go.
Right, and he scored.
Yeah.
And he scored a little bit of a stutter. He's just about to take it right footed. Keeper dived to his right, ball on the bottom left hand side. 2-0 Motherwell. This could be a really long afternoon for Livingston.
Well, just going with the guys in the studio are saying here, stay tuned for Davy Martindale post match. That could be interesting. We'll get the guys shortly. Alan Preston, another chance.
No, it's not me.
Kenny, it's at Ayr United.
Sorry, apologies.
It's Ayr United. It's Ethan Walker. He's broke away. Jamie Murphy steals the ball in the middle of the pitch and he slides it straight through the middle. Ethan Walker runs away for Luke Macbeth, and a bit like Logan Chalmers tries to clip the goalie, and he's clipped it by the post. And the goalkeeper was 18-19 yards out. I don't know if it's the right decision to try and chip him or just keep running and run round them, but a big massive chance for Ayr, who've been under the cosh a wee bit here, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, just saying to the guys in the studio here, because Davy Martindale very strong in reaction to Tom's story, the comments from Dave Cormack. Davy Martindale said just scrap it now. That's his opinion, Stephen. He's going to be fizzing at that decision.
The thing is, if there's contact on it, okay?
Right.
The referee on field has decided there's enough contact for a penalty kick. If someone sitting in VAR says, well, I'm not so sure about that, it's a subjective decision, Kenny.
Right.
So subjective decisions, according to VAR, will stay on field. So that's why that hasn't been overturned, or the referee hasn't invited to have a look at the screen. He thinks that there's enough contact, hence the reason why there's a penalty. We've had a look, we don't think there is. But a subjective decision will stay on field.
So it's Lewis Smith, a judge to have
Johnny
tripped Catrumbas.
What I would say is, how easy was it for Johnny Catrumbas to get in?
Loads of space in behind.
One long ball in behind drags two players out of position. Smith doesn't track the run initially and then ends up bringing down Catrumbas. That should frustrate Davy Martindale more than anything. The ease at which one ball opened his full defence up.
Goal in the Championship, Dunfermline Athletic 1, Arbroath 0. What a season this lad's having. Barney Stewart with that goal on 61 minutes. Let's then stay in the Championship, just bounce down the grounds again. So Chris Dooley saying a big chance down there at Somerset.
It was huge, Kenny, and Partick Thistle have just actually hit the post. They broke up the pitch. Aidan Fitzpatrick's cutting off onto his right hand side and hit a shot. and it's been turned by the goalkeeper Liam Russell onto the post, so the game looks like it's really starting to open up now. But a massive miss, I think, from Ethan Walker when he had the full run of the half here at United.
Any sign, Rory Lloyd, a breakthrough up there in Perth?
Yeah, St Johnstone are starting to turn the screw ever so slightly. Raith Rovers camped in their own half. Jamie Gullen just forced a really tidy save from Josh Ray there, so they're starting to turn it up in terms of the tempo, the speed of the passing, and this home crowd are starting to get behind them a little bit as they look for that goal. As I said, they've been relatively good today, St Johnstone, but it's still 0-0 as it stands.
Still plenty of time, of course, for Ross County to come back into things in Dingle, but looking at the live table right now, County bottom, 12 points, Queen's Park 13, Airdrie on 14 points, and quite a big gap, 6 points up to Raith Rovers, who are in 7th. What reaction, Ian Auld, from the home side?
Yeah, not really a great reaction from Ross County. They have brought on Jay Henderson since Airdrie have gone in front, and no instant response from Ross County, but yeah, half an hour to go. I think they'll definitely throw the kitchen sink at Airdrie at one point, but Airdrie on the counter looked really good as well. Ewan Henderson has had a couple of in the first half and in the second half, a couple of mazy dribbles. Airdrie quite content at the moment just to kind of sit in, hold Ross County off and hit them on the counter.
Yeah, chance.
Yes, a chance at Easter. As a cross comes into the box, I don't know if it's Bashiri or it's Miller or Agiman. It's three of them go for it together. Eventually the ball ends up in Salinger's arms. I just don't know who's hit off. It's a great ball in.
It was a terrific ball, wasn't it?
It's called untidy defending. Both centre halves went for the ball, hoping one of them was going to make contact with it. I think there was a Falkirk by Alfie Agiman potentially in amongst them, and Salinger gladfully just picked the ball up. But you're right, Alan, Falkirk have been the better side in the second half. They've been trying to force the issue, they've been trying to get the breakthrough. You just wonder, do they have the quality or that moment of brilliance that can get it back to 2-1?
You're talking about the lad at Dunfermline who's scoring goals for them. I wonder if Falkirk will take him back, Barney Stewart.
Yeah, he's doing
terrific. Back in January.
Well, I think that's the talk because Ross McIver's injured. I think Neil Lennon said it yesterday that he's fearful that Barney Stewart will get recalled, so he's going to have to then look at a potential another option of bringing a striker in January in Dunfermline.
Yeah, hard to replace him with the start he's made up there. Alloa 2, Peterhead 0, Luke Rankin on 59 minutes, and Elgin City have equalised at home to Clyde. Jack McIver on 60 minutes, one apiece in that game there. So let's get back to Ian McCall, the game in Page that we spoke with, important particularly for sitting on ahead of that League Cup final against Celtic, Ian, and he's been quite frustrated, I think it's fair to say. Stephen Robinson, a really good performance, good comeback up at Pittodrie. They've got a decent record up there midweek, but a lot more like their old selves this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm pausing there because I saw them against Hearts and against somebody else as well, and I thought they did really, really well. I thought they played, some of the stuff they played was terrific. They do get it forward early, but they certainly can play. Dundee United have been better in the second half. There's no doubt about that. They've currently got a free kick right on the angle, about 20 yards from goal. I mean, the only chance we've had though was another great Declan John delivery, and Mikael Mandron, who's been really good today, I've got to say, he's really linked the game well, just couldn't get a touch and get in the end of it. But Dundee United have been pressing without making any clear-cut chances, but they have a strike from 20 yards as we speak, so it's still 1-0 to St Mirren.
What's happening at Dens Park, Willie?
Well, it's been dominated the second half by the home side. Aberdeen really struggling to control the ball.
Goal in Dingwall, and it's come for Airdrie once again. And it's Ewan Henderson who's bratched onto a through ball at the back post, squeezed it beyond Trevor Carson, and it's going from bad to worse for the home side. Ross County 0, Airdrie 2.
Right, Willie Miller.
Goal at Dens to the home side. It's a corner. It's Simon Murray that makes a run towards the near post, and he just dips his head down, gets a little nod on it, and it goes in at that near post. So Dundee, with all the pressure that they've had, not really looking like scoring, actually gets one back. They get one back from the corner kick on the right hand side, and Simon Murray it is that's managed to get his head on it. Well, check going on for something, don't know what.
All right, have we look here. The guys are didn't seem too much in that, did they?
It's not Simon Murray.
I don't think it's Simon Murray, is it?
Is it not Simon Murray?
No, it's just gone over his head, Willie. Just gone over his head.
Game, Willie.
I'm at the game, boys.
Ashley, I've been told.
Ashley, yeah.
Is it Ashley, is it?
See that post, Willie? See that post? Yeah, well, I think Simon Murray goes for it, Willie.
St Mirren Park.
Right, goal. Ian McCall.
just a minute after Satsford for Dundee United has crashed an effort off the bar, St Mirren have went up the other end of the park and scored. There's another ball in, I think from Declan John, and the header from Killian Phillips. Really good save, and I'm not quite sure who scored the goal. I think it may have been, you guys can help me, it may have been McMenamin again, but it was certainly Phillips that had the header. Good save, and somebody's just tucked in the second ball. But Satsford for the D&A hit the inside of the bar.
Oh, this is going to be close. There's a chance for Ross. He's through 1-on-1. He scores. Hibs are on offside. I think the Iredale plays him on. I think possibly plays him on.
It was Keanu Bacchus that scored the goal.
Sorry, plays him on.
Right, this is crazy.
Look
at this.
It's been confirmed, Ryan Astley.
Right, Dundee back in it, 2-1 down at home to Aberdeen. We think St Mirren have got a goal there. There will be a VAR check, of course. There's also a check through at Easter Road. Alan Preston's will try.
I think McGrath's in the left back area. The ball's played right down the middle of the pitch. Ross is onto it. He shows great composure, lovely finish. But I think McGrath in the left back area is playing everybody on. But time will tell.
From the angle we've just had a look at, Alan, which is that 18-yard camera nearest to Falkirk fans, it's hard to see. It looks like he may be offside. From that angle we're looking at, clearly VAR will get a different look. Camera one's probably the angle we need to look.
The thing is, McGrath's so far away from the ball, he can't do anything about it, so you wonder why he's so deep.
Well, he is deep. It's just because he's tracking a run and actually doesn't look across at his two centre halves who have stepped up. He keeps moving back towards his own goal. There is going to be an offside check. It looks very, very close. The lines will have to be drawn, I'm afraid. Give Cormac 60 seconds. We can kick in here.
Well, do you know what, I've not seen a replay, right, of the goal.
Motherwell should have made it 3-0 there.
Yep, right, Derek Lillick.
Number 66, Henry, he came on actually after Stammer scored the penalty. He came off, he was sub. 66, Henry came on, the ball gets
offside. Going to be offside, yeah. Offside at Easter Road, very tight as you said.
Yeah, that was tight.
I just think from the 18-yard angle that we had, it looked as if Ethan Ross was just ahead, but sometimes that can be distorted because you're not actually in line with the ball. So Jamie McGrath's right knee, but the left shoulder of Ethan Ross.
Tell you what, quick decision.
Yeah,
can be done.
That's what
can be done.
Do you know what? I've not seen a replay of the Keanu Bacchus goal, but
it's a shocker.
My initial reaction was, I think Ian, you thought it was a good save, but my initial reaction was,
no, spilled it.
Well, it's just raining really, really heavily here, and I thought it bounced off the surface. Maybe he should have done better. But my attention was for the second ball.
No, absolutely.
And Bacchus, who's just on the pitch 4 or 5 minutes, was onto it really sharp to get it.
In his slight defence, the ball actually comes over a lot of bodies, and he sees it late. But I think it hits off his knee, Collie, rather than his hands.
Should be better.
I think it hits off his knee and bounces back into play, and Keanu Bacchus just rolled it into the net. That's a huge second goal for St Mirren. They were under the caution a little bit. Ian said it. Sapsford hit the crossbar. You think Dundee United are edging that little bit closer?
It's his first goal since coming back to St Mirren as well, so hopefully that'll set him up for the cup final.
Yeah, do you know what? That's been a crazy few minutes there. And do you know what? It's interesting. Ian Alders up in Dingwall for us, Ian. I was looking at the reaction in this studio, just a shock when Airdrie got that second goal there. What was the reaction around you in the stands?
The same, Kenny, is shock. The Ross County fans can't quite believe it. I was here a few weeks ago when they played Greenock Morton and it went 3-0 and the place just emptied. I must say the Ross County fans are sticking with it just now, but yeah, there's a real shock when Airdrie went 2-0. But I said it, they hit them on the counter. Chris Mockery, great work down the left-hand side. It's a simple ball. Ewan Henderson's there at the back post to tap in. I must say that the 2 goal scorers for Airdrie have come off. They've brought on Reid and Telfer just to shore things up, but at the moment Airdrie looking good for all 3 points.
Manchester City 3, Sunderland 0. Phil Foden with the goal on 65 minutes. We're on the telly in about 3 or 4 minutes time. Just before we do that, just because there was a goal rush there. So in the top flight, Dundee 1, Aberdeen 2, Hibs 2, Falkirk 0. That Falkirk goal chopped off for offside. It was tight. Motherwell 2, Livingston 0, St Mirren 2, Dundee United 0. 8 o'clock start. Kilmarnock are at home to Rangers, and Ian was bringing us news of that big goal, the second big goal in Dingwall this afternoon. So in the Championship today, Airdrie 2-0 up away at Ross County. St Johnstone 0, Raith Rovers 0, Dunfermline 1, Arbroath 0, Barney Stewart with a goal, Ayr United 0, Parker Thistle 0. Another chance.
With another chance at Ayr, Kenny, it was Anton Dowd who just came on at the hour mark. It's Jamie Murphy again that fires this terrific through ball. Anton takes a terrific touch on his right foot, shifts it onto his left foot, and he hits a strike that I think Josh Clark gets a toe on it that diverts it past. But a fantastic chance for Anton Dowse to make it 1-0.
Right, let's go back to that game now. Very interesting up there at Dens Park, William Miller.
Well, Aberdeen are getting battered, Kenny. You know, right from the very whistle at half time when they restarted. Aberdeen have been barely out their last third, and Dundee have dominated everything, absolutely everything. Lazatic has been taken off, Nisbet has been brought on, and it's just wave after wave of attack and no control from the Dons at all. The crowd are certainly a lot happier in the second half than they were in the first half, and it's basically the same team. It's just a different attitude, different urgency. Dundee players committing themselves forward. Certainly the two wing backs are further up the park. That's a big change, and you know, making life really difficult. And another opportunity at the back post, big chance. Oh, that could have easily ended up in the back of it. I think it was Jack Milne that eventually got in front of it.
Unbelievable moments at St Mirren here for Dundee United, Kenny.
Yep.
It's just a corner into the box. Terrific hit. What a save by Shamal George. And then they switch off from the following corner, and it just gets played to Craig Sybil at the edge of box, and he absolutely thrashes it off the bar again. So they've hit the bar twice in the last 10 minutes, and they're 2-0 down. But it's all starting to come alive here now at St Mirren Bar. Still 2-0 to the home side.
Yeah, you fancy them too. Oh, is that a chance?
That's incredible. Two great opportunities for Dundee. Aberdeen really struggling. I think it was Simon Murray with the second opportunity. But it's chance after chance. Ball's been thrown into the box. Aberdeen not being able to defend, and they've no control in the second half whatsoever. Incredible.
Is that kind of worrying, Willie, that they were so dominant in the first half?
Yeah.
They lose a goal and then suddenly they look as if they've had a wobble. There's a bit of nervousness, indecision, hesitancy, all the things that concern you about defenders Aberdeen are showing.
Yeah, but even before that, Craigs, I mean, they started really passively in the second half, as though they thought the game was over, as many of us probably did, because how poor Dundee were. But Dundee have certainly upped the tempo, pushed players forward, and they're not really leaving themselves, you know, at the back. They're not leaving gaps at the back. And Aberdeen have had no control. They were so good in the first half. Fausic, Carlson as well.
Isn't it amazing how it's easier to play in a game sometimes when you're losing by 2-0? The manager said, well, we might as well go
nothing to lose now. Kitchen sink job.
Yeah, and you don't have an option, just take the shackles off and away you go.
Right, we're about to go on television, so we'll take this back into the studio for now, but we'll get right around the grounds. There is so much happening in Scottish football today. These games in the second half have absolutely come alive, so much to get through, and of course we'll get fan reaction on Sports Sound this evening. So we're about to go on to television now, so welcome to viewers who have joined us on BBC One Scotland. As ever, no shortage of drama across Scottish football. Stephen Craigan and Tom English alongside me in the studio. Some really important games, some big action, you'd have to say, in the second half. None more so than up there at Dens Park. Willie Miller is there for us. Dundee are at home to Aberdeen. Quite the turnaround there, Willie.
Absolutely, yeah. Dundee very passive in the first half. Aberdeen in total control. Playing a lot of slick football, getting the 2 goals, getting the nose in front. It looked as though it was all over for Dundee, but they fought back. Ryan Ashley getting one in 60 minutes, corner from the right hand side. They managed to squeeze it in at the near post, and they've dominated the second half. Dundee are on fire at this moment in time, and Aberdeen are struggling, so much so that I think it's they're bringing on a couple of substitutes, Keskinen and Shinnie, to see if they can kind of claw back some control of this game. It's 2-1, it's very close, and all to play for.
It is remarkable, Stephen. We've got all the games coming into the studio here, and that game looked so one-sided for much of that first half. Stephen Presley's clearly been very strong, you'd imagine, the players in the dressing room at half-time, and he's got the reaction.
Well, I'd said when it went 2-0, I couldn't see a way back for Dundee because Aberdeen were so dominant. And suppose there was one of two things could happen at half-time. Aberdeen take the foot off the gas, and Dundee take the shackles off and go and try and chase Aberdeen down. And both have happened, which is why now Ryan Astley made it 2-1. And it's all Dundee. It's all about Aberdeen now standing firm. They've been to St Mirren and had a clean sheet. They have to try and show the same resilience what they did against Kilmarnock, that they did in Europe away to Larnaca. All those characteristics will be required this afternoon.
Yes, a real test for the Dons now, isn't it, Tom? You'd have to say a lot of credit must go to these Dundee players.
Yeah, load of spirit from Dundee. They looked at half-time, they looked gone. and Aberdeen it was 2, it was going on 3 maybe. Dundee looked like a busted flush, but I suppose in that kind of desperation they've found something, and Aberdeen are very, very deep. The dominant team now is Dundee, there's no doubt about it.
Right, an equaliser for Arbroath away at Dunfermline. Brooklyn Cabangolo with that goal on 75 minutes. A bit of a fight back for Dumbarton away at Edinburgh City. Leighton McIntosh with a penalty there in 70 minutes, but they still trail by 4 goals to 2. Let's get back then to the Premiership and get to the game at Easter Road. Hibs are at home to Falkirk this afternoon. There for us is Alan Preston.
Hibs lead by 2 goals to 0, and it's just a set. Falkirk are on the attack. Hibs were brilliant in that first half, none more so than Josh Mulligan, who absolutely ran the show, and they took the lead in 36 minutes. Lisser catches Boyle as he's going through on goal. The referee points to the spot after a quick VAR check. That was confirmed. Up step Boyle to smash the ball right down the middle into the back of the net. It was 2-0 in 41 minutes. Mulligan again involved, really good play to Kieran Bowie. First touch on his right foot, set him up to his left, and this curling shot gave Scott Bain absolutely no chance. Falkirk at this point were done and dusted. It looked like they were never in it. But the second half, John McGunn's made a couple of changes, got them right back in the game, and they actually scored a goal in 64 minutes. Adjuman through to Ross. He goes through and scores, beats Salinger, but after a very quick VAR check, the goal was ruled out for offside. Falkirk made much of a better fist of it in the second half, but Hibernian still lead by 2 goals to 0.
Thanks to Alan Preston. Stephen, it's a similar story, albeit they haven't got the goal that Dundee have got. They're back in this game in terms of performance. They've had a lot of pressure in the second half, haven't they, the away side?
I just felt as if Falkirk lacked a little bit of belief in the first half, and they probably had that feeling last week at Ibrox. They didn't trust themselves, they weren't good enough with the ball, Kenny. They've come out the second half, they've taken a little bit more responsibility with the ball, more forceful in their play. Brian Graham played up front in the first half, doesn't really give them the ability to stretch the game. Alfie Aguiman has been lively since he came on. His hold-up play, his ability to run in behind has just created that bit more space for Falkirk to go and try and create their magic, but they need to get the goal. When you're in top, you need to get it back to 2-1.
The home side are also in top in the game at Fir Park. Motherwell are at home to Livingston this afternoon. Let's get the very latest from Derek Lilly.
Yes, 2-0 to Motherwell here against Livingston. I mean, after they went 2-0 up Motherwell, there were after substitutions being made. Livingston's going out a lot more direct in the second half. Up front now we've got Muirhead, Bortelli, and it's number 30's up front as well, Yenge. So they've got a lot of height up front. They're going more direct, and so the game's getting really stretched. However, Motherwell they're trying to pick them off. You know, they're taking their time with the ball, finding that pass, getting in behind. Doesn't look as if they're going to get a third goal yet. The game's, it's a bit scrappy. Motherwell's, trying to play the better football, I would say, and Livingston's trying to make a fight of it. That obviously Motherwell have got a lot more quality on their side. That's pretty evident, but still 2-0 Motherwell. Yeah, we can see pictures, Tom, coming through to David Martindale, really animated in the touchline there. And you can maybe just recap for people who are just joining us on television. You brought some news earlier on in VAR. There were some strong comments from David Martindale, and I think yourself and Stephen Craigan feel he may be aggrieved after this game in terms of the penalty that was given against him.
Yeah, the goal that made it 2-0, Stamatolopoulos from the penalty spot, Petrumbus adjudged to be tripped by Lewis Smith. It looks soft. I'd like to see another one. It did look soft. Martindale has obviously spoken about VAR. He spoke about VAR pre-match. He would bin it right now. He would bin it. We have a story on the website we were talking about earlier on that Dave Cormack, the Aberdeen chairman, says that a 60-second limit should be put on VAR checks. And if a decision is not clear and obvious after a minute, then the referee's on-field decision should stand. And he also said that there should be a suspension of VAR if standards don't improve. I think David Martindale's post-match interview, like all David Martindale interviews, will be popcorn moment.
Yeah, stay tuned for that, because we were so strong pre-match. We put it to 3 managers, the story that Tom brought us. So we put it to Davy Martindale, very, very strong. He's been it now. We also heard from Stephen Robinson and also Jim Goodwin. In terms of the game there, Stephen, Motherwell, very good. They're very much in control, aren't they?
It almost looks at times, Kenny, 1, it's too easy for them, and 2, they're playing in second gear. Because they trust their system, they understand how they play. We said ahead of the game that earlier in the season they lacked a cutting edge. They've managed to find that, and because they dominate the game so much, now they have the game exactly where they want it. Livingston are forcing the game, Livingston are coming on to them, which just creates even more space for Motherwell to go and play in the final third of the pitch and potentially get more goals. And I'm not going to put it out there, but Motherwell are 6 points behind the league leaders. So, hang on. The title race.
What are you suggesting?
It's been as close as it's been to the top of the table for a long time at this stage of the season.
Dingwall!
Right, let's get to Ian Auld up there in Dingwall.
Ross County back in it. It was a miss hit, but it doesn't matter. It'll count nonetheless. Jay Henderson from inside the area. Great work from Miller Thompson down the left-hand side. Cut back, found Jay Henderson, and his fellow sub beat Cade Melrose for the first time this afternoon. Ross County 1, Airdrieonians 2.
Yeah, and we'll just stick with that game because I could see the reaction from you guys in the studio. It was one of total shock when they went 2-0 down in that game county. And as things stand, even if we look at the live table, they are bottom of the table, Tom. It's been such a struggle this season for them, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. I mean, if you'd said here we are in early December and Ross County were going to be bottom of the championship, no one would have believed you, given the investment that they have there, given the players that they have, or thought they had. But 2 wins from 16 games, including this one. If they don't win it, it's a lot of goals being conceded, not many being scored, not as many as you think they'd score. It's been a tale of woe for Ross County. Bottom of the championship as it stands in the second. It's remarkable.
Right, let's get back to the top flight then and get to the game in Paisley. St Mirren are home to Dundee United. Well, before we do that, let's get back to Alan Preston at Easter Road.
And it's Bowie. I think it's Campbell to the byline, whips it across. Bowie makes a really good front post run. Taps it into the back of the net. Falkirk are what, offside? I don't think so. 3-0 at Hibs. Very good.
You see,
into the 80th minute.
There's the problem when you're attacking the game and chasing the game. You're going to leave spaces in behind. It's a simple ball down the right-hand channel. Josh Campbell makes a lovely run from the centre of the pitch into the wide area, fizzles it across goal, and the man we spoke about earlier in the game, Kieran Bowie, he's now found his touch again. He's enjoying his football. He looks fresh. He looks energetic. Now I think that's game over.
See, I think there's one. I mean, you look at the World Cup squad, and he may bring 4 strikers, and George Hurst currently is one of the 4. I think that spot is up for grabs, and Bowie now is laying down a bit of a claim. So I think it could be nip and tuck. If Bowie keeps going like this.
You think Shanklin's the third?
I think Shankland, yeah. So you're talking Dykes, Adam Shankland, they're on the play.
Is it Tommy Conway?
Tommy Conway in the frame.
Okay.
I think that fourth striker spot is up for grabs. And Bowie is doing himself no harm today.
I just think he's just so much to his game. He's such an exciting talent. We'll discuss that a little more later on. The conversation will continue on BBC Radio Scotland. It's even on the telly till about 17 minutes past 5. We're going to have fans joining us on the telly tonight to give a reaction to the games they're at today, but also the reaction to the thing we're all talking about, the World Cup draw that was made last night. We'll get confirmation of exactly where Scotland will be playing just after 5 o'clock. We'll bring that to you. But if you've got a thought on that, if you've made some plans, if you're going to definitely be going to the World Cup, drop us a voice note on WhatsApp 08085 92 95 00. We'll get them out later in the programme. So let's then get to the game in Paisley. St Mirren home to Dundee and get the latest from Ian McCall.
Hi Kenny, yeah, I mean Dundee United are making a real game of it. They've been comfortably the better team in the second half, but it was St Mirren that got the goal. I mean, St Mirren took the lead as early as the 16th minute. They dominated the first half, and Declan John, who's put in a number of great crosses today, crossed with a lot of pace into the box, and it was headed home by Conor McMenamin, and they totally deserved that lead. It looked like St Mirren were really, really up for it from the kick-off. Second half, Dundee United have played okay. Jim Goodwin changed the system back to the normal 3-4-3, and they've had 1 or 2 little chances. In fact, they've hit the bar twice. Satsford rattled the free kick off the bar, and then a minute later St Mirren went out the park, and again it was a Declan John cross. Phillips has a good header. Goalie probably should have done better, and Keanu Baka's got his first goal since returning to St Mirren to put the home side 2-0 up. 5 minutes after that, in the 72nd minute, Craig Sibbald rattled the crossbar again with another great strike. So Dundee United have played well in the second half, but St Mirren still deserving of their 2-0 lead.
Connor Salmon has put Alloa Athletic 3-0 up at home to Peterhead. Stephen, I asked you before kick-off today to pick the game you're really interested in. You chose that game in Paisley. Just tell us why.
Well, just because both sides have probably felt they've been actually playing okay, but the results haven't followed suit. I think ahead of this one, St Mirren 8 games without a win. Dundee United 1 league win in 9. So you thought something had to give this afternoon. It was always probably going to be who had the most hunger, who had the real desire and drive. And St Mirren had it. So they've now got themselves in front. We've said it. Cup final next weekend. Players desperate to play in the cup final. And it'll just be a bit of a sigh of relief that they get into that game in a fresh mood if they can see the game out.
As well, Stephen, where do they play Gogic in the cup final? Because he's been immense centre midfield today. Do they drop him back into the back three, or do they play him centre mid? He's an absolute warrior.
Well, you'd have to probably think if whoever's taken his place in the back three, I think you said Richard King. If he's a little bit of liability, or if he hasn't been playing well, so, it also depends on the fitness of Mark O'Hara.
Yeah,
I spoke to him before the game actually, and I think he's hopeful.
Yeah,
but he's not certain.
So I think if he's fit, he plays middle of the pitch, and Gogic plays. Yeah. If O'Hara isn't fit, then you're right. He's really got a dilemma.
And because I've mentioned Kieran Bowie today, I also have to mention George Hurst, because he too has scored for Ipswich Town. They're winning 2-0 against Coventry, league leaders Coventry.
All good news.
Big result. Yeah, the more Scottish strikers scoring goals.
So which one are you taking, George, today? Which one are you taking, Kieran Bowie or George Hurst?
Come on, Tom.
I don't know. I'm sitting on the fence for once in my life.
Give us a name.
I need to
revisit it again in June.
No.
Tom's still a bit hurt from earlier on in the show, I think.
Yes.
Right, let's get to Derek Lilly.
Down the right hand side, Charles Cook got in behind the full back. Cleared plenty of space in behind. He took his time, and he's played a nice ball across the edge of the 6-yard box. It's number 45 for Motherwell, who comes on as a sub. He scored the goal. We got number 4, Longello took it away, right-footed. It was done. I mean, the game was getting so stretched. Motherwell were knocking about the ball really nicely, and I've just picked him off, and I think that's the game done now. 3-0 Motherwell.
Just while you're with us, Derek, you were a prolific striker in your day. What did you make of Kieran Bowie?
Do you know what, as we were talking about earlier on, I would take him. I think he's young, he's raw, he's powerful, and he's fearless, and I think that's a big thing you need. You need a bit of an X factor, and why not take him along, throw him on, because he's a bit of an unknown quantity, but you can see in the Premier League and in a lot of the big matches I've seen him playing in, he's handled himself well, and he's a clever player as well. I've seen him, he can lead that line well. I would definitely take him.
He has been in the squad,
yes.
and he lost a bit of form, but he looks to be back in form now. That's going to be interesting, and we're going to have great fun doing this until the squad is actually
week after week
after week. Isn't it great game of speculation?
And you're going to keep the way out on what the potential we're going to find out. Hopefully we're still on television today. We're off television at 70 minutes past 5.
Yeah.
But confirmation of where we'll actually be playing our games next summer.
It's wonderful, because FIFA are having another one of those lovely shows. So we all enjoyed yesterday so much. They're doing it again today.
Oh my goodness, let's
I'll
hope
give
it's a
you a
bit
phone
shorter.
call about the expected goals.
Right, okay, so some goals going in. Alloa 5-0 up now at home to Peterhead, and Alloa 4-0 up. Sorry, it's just come through, it's been chopped off, that goal. 4-0 up and then 5-0 up Burnside with a goal there on 86 minutes. Perhaps a bit of confusion on Vidi printer there. Let's get to the games in the Championship. Let's get to Somerset Park. Ayr United at home to Partick Thistle. Get the latest from Chris Doolan.
And it's still 0-0 here in Ayrshire, Kenny. Ayr United have actually had the two best chances, I think, of this second half. And it's probably the reverse of what was happening in the first half, because Thistle had the best chances late on. Both sides have kind of flung everything at it late on just now. But the massive chance, it was 58 minutes. Ethan Walker broke away. Jamie Murphy's been exceptional. He's just been taken off, but he's been exceptional. Those through balls he's played today, he's been brilliant. Ethan Walker ran away from Luke Macbeth, and he tried to clip it over the goalkeeper from about 25 yards, and he has clipped it over the goalkeeper, but he's clipped it wide of the post as well. And they were almost made to pay for that a minute later when Fitzpatrick broke up the pitch for Thistle, cut inside and hit a fantastic shot, and it was saved very, very well by the United goalkeeper Russell onto the post. But then there was another massive chance for Dowds. Anton Dowds came on at the hour mark for Ayr United. Again, Jamie Murphy slipped him inside the box, and he took a terrific touch from his right foot onto his left foot, and he got a terrific shot away, but it was well saved by Clark. I think he just gets a touch on it and no more to stop it becoming 1-0 to United. But both sides just now throwing everything at it in the last stages, but a reverse of what was happening in the first half, and it looks as if it's going to go all the way to the wire here, but still 0-0 in Somerset.
Late goal for Stirling Albion, Stranraer 3, Stirling Albion 2. Adam Brown on 89 minutes. Late equaliser of Queen of the South at home to Cove Rangers. Matty Douglas on 88, one apiece in that game. Just confirmation coming through that goal for Longello. Motherwell 3, Livingston 0. Let's then stay in the Championship. We heard from Chris Doolan down there at Somerset Park. Let's get to the game at McDermott Park. St Johnstone at home to Wraith Rovers, and hear from Rory Loy.
Yes, it remains St Johnstone 0, Wraith Rovers 0. It's been wave after wave after wave of attack from St Johnstone in this second half. Some of it's possessed little bits of quality with no end product. Other parts have been really, really poor. Lots of crosses, overhit, going out for corners, goal kicks and throw-ins, and another overhit pass there gets Raith Rovers a goal kick. I expected Raith Rovers to show more today. They have had no attacking intent whatsoever in this second half. In the first half, however, Diabate should have put St Johnstone 1-0 up within the first 10 minutes. He had a couple of golden opportunities from headers from wider areas, which he put by the post. McPake had a chance, Mallon had a chance as well, as did Sidibe. Jordan Docherty had the best chance for Raith Rovers and probably the best chance of the game in 33 minutes. He headed into the goalkeeper's arms when he really should have put it into the back of the net. St Johnstone will keep pushing. Ichi Ikpeazu has come on. He's a big lad. I think that's an understatement. He's just had a shot which has been saved. An absolute masterclass in defending from Derek O'Connor and Paul Hanlon today, though, and it remains St Johnstone 0, Raith Rovers 0.
Thanks to Rory Lloyd. Let's get back to the game in Dingwall. It'll be late on there, perhaps just some time left, Ian Hall, for the home side to grab an equaliser.
Yeah, Kenny, we're 3 minutes into stoppage time now. Cade Melrose in the Airdrie goal is holding on to everything, as you'd imagine, going to ground. Callum Scott's just had a quick check of his watch. He's got the whistle in his mouth. I think there's not long left in this one. It's still Airdrie leading by 2-1. Airdrie have been brilliant in the second half. Got 2 goals on the counter, you would say. Gavin Gallagher scoring with a neat finish from inside the 18-yard box, and then Ewan Henderson tapping in at the back post after a great play from Chris Mockery. Jay Henderson has brought Ross County back into the game, and they're still knocking at the door. Airdrie defending for their lives at the moment. It's Ross County who are rock bottom of the championship. They trail by 2-1.
Jamie Gullen has just rattled the outside of the post for St Johnstone. That could be the last action of the game. It's still 0-0, but Simo Valakari will be wondering how on earth it is still 0-0 as Jamie Gullen rattles the post into the 92nd minute here now. Still 0-0.
Yeah, real excitement across the country. Let's get back to that game at Dens Park. Dundee against Aberdeen. Right, we'll come back to you in a second, Derek. Let's get to that game. It's on a knife edge up there, Willie.
Well, it is, yeah, and in the second half performance, Dundee deserved something out of this game. Aberdeen have really struggled. They've been pinned back, and Dundee have just thrown, and it's a chance in the box. Simon Murray swipes at it as he's trying to turn and hits it on the turn, and he misses it completely. It falls on his backside, and now Aberdeen on the counter. One of the very few attacks in the second half, but it has been all about Dundee. Aberdeen have really struggled, and Dundee have put up a fine second half performance. They got that 1 goal back, and they're pushing for equaliser. You're right to say it's on a knife edge. Dundee looking very dangerous every time they go up the park, but as yet haven't managed to get that second goal that would earn them a share of the points.
Yeah, a real cracking second half up there at Dens Park. Let's get back to the game at Fir Park. There was a
full time in Dingwall.
Oh, there's a big shout for a penalty there.
Full time at Fir Park. Motherwell 3, Livingston 0.
Right, a win for Motherwell, a win for Airdrie up there in Dingwall. Let's get back to Willie Miller. I can see Simon Murray on the ground. He's furious.
You've got a better view of it, guys. I think it's it's a pass back. No, I think it's Jack Milne that puts the challenge in, and Simon Murray definitely goes down rather spectacularly, and the ball wasn't taken. They're asking a question, but we're playing on, so obviously they're not going to check it, or they have had a quick check at it and nothing doing as far as the penalty is concerned.
I would say it's a risky tactic by Jack Millen, because he actually tackles Simon Murray, and Nicky Devlin takes the ball.
Park, St Johnstone 0, Raith Rovers 0.
Thanks to Rory Lloyd.
Not happy.
No, we can hear that in the background. And have you had a chance? Have you had a proper look at it yet, Stephen?
Jack Millen, I don't think gets the ball.
Well, I didn't think he got it.
I'm not too sure how much contact he makes with Simon Murray. He does lunge towards Simon Murray. Whether he makes contact or not, Nicky Devlin actually takes the ball. So clearly VAR has cleared that very, very quickly.
Very quickly.
Full time at Somerset, Kenny. A United 0, Partick Thistle 0.
Yeah,
well done, VAR. You don't hear that phrase very often.
But we don't have the angle here that we need.
Park, Kenny. St Mirren 2, Dundee United 0.
Great confidence boost for Stephen Robinson's side ahead of next weekend's League Cup final against Celtic. Full coverage right here on Sportsound. It looks like a late winner for Arbroath. The second goal of the game for Cabon Goal in the 94th minute. Dunfermline 1, Arbroath 2. So we're waiting for a replay to come through, a good angle to come through from that game up there at Dens Park, but a few minutes still to go in that one. So let's just stick with you, Willie, for now, because Aberdeen have got a chance just to relieve some pressure up there right now.
Yeah, they could be doing with it, to be perfectly honest. First half they were outstanding with some of their play, and getting the 2 goals through Auschwitz as well set them up. We've only got 3 minutes in the second half to play. There hasn't been too many substitutes, right enough, so, and there's been very few stoppages. But Dundee they've just piled on the pressure down the slope. I did say a hill a little bit earlier, so upgraded it from a slope to a hill. It's definitely a slope, I can confirm that. And they've just battered Aberdeen. And
Aberdeen at Easter Road to Burnley and 3, Falkirk now.
They've had no answer. They've had no answer for it. Very few counters. So Aberdeen have really struggled, but they've held out so far. We've got 2.5 minutes to go, and if they do pick up the 3 points, I think that would take them into the top 6 above Falkirk, wouldn't it? If my standings at this moment,
I think that's right. Well,
yeah, you're right. Well,
you're right.
So that's a brilliant turnaround for Jimmy Tilleen if they can hold on. Always bearing in mind that they lost one at the last touch of the ball just at midweek. So Jimmy Tilleen will be hoping that they can show more composure, more organisation, more confidence in dealing with the situation. But a fabulous second half performance from Dundee, absolutely magnificent. And Nisbet on the what a goal that is! Kevin Nisbet back in form. He's been looking like it. He just stops the ball outside the box. He takes his right foot, he wraps it round. McCracken just does not move, and it just nestles into the far corner. Absolutely magnificent way for Aberdeen to finish this game.
He actually finishes it with the outside of his right foot.
Yeah.
The ball comes to him, stops it dead. There's loads of space because Dundee are really disjointed. They're chasing the game. Right hand corner of the box, stops the ball and just nonchalantly, outside of his right foot, just puts it past John McCracken. Doesn't even move.
No. That's what I meant by wrapping it round.
Yeah. And that's why clearly there's a lot of movement on the ball because McCracken doesn't even put his hand out towards it. He knows it's past him, and what a way to finish a game. But also, Willie, you're talking there, Aberdeen over the past 6 or 7 games, domestically anyway, have added a little bit of steeliness to themselves. They're harder to play against. And Aberdeen in last season and an Aberdeen in the first 6 or 7 games of this season wouldn't have been able to defend like that.
Absolutely. But for once, I've got a perfect view. It's down at the right-hand side here, and Nisbet's, I've got his back to me, and I can see exactly what he's trying to do, but you've still got to execute that. It was quite an incredible finish, and you're right, it moved so much. There was a huge bend on it going into the far post. So Aberdeen on the attack again as well. Keskinen, can he show composure? He does show composure. Nothing comes of it, unfortunately. I've done many commentaries in Keskinen, and that is just a repeat of most commentaries that I've done so far at his time at Pittodrie. He gets you up the park, there's no doubt about that, but when he gets in and around the box, he doesn't have the composure. So the Aberdeen fans are in form. Hey, I don't know how many's down here. What was it, 7,402, but the Aberdeen fans, it's a phenomenal response from them. They're thoroughly enjoying what they're seeing. I don't think they were seeing. There it is, full time. We've got an Aberdeen take. They take the honours, 3-2 in a very tough second half for them, but a magnificent finish from Kevin Nisbet just towards the end of the game. Makes it all 3 points and top 6 for the Dons.
Yeah, they always travel in great numbers, Aberdeen. We'll go through the tables for you. We'll do the classifies in just 1 minute. It's been such a busy day again in Scottish football. The conversation will continue on BBC Radio Scotland. Reaction from managers, pundits and the fans. Lots of fans will come on. They've been at the games today. They'll talk about, they'll also give us their reaction to the World Cup draw. So much for us all to look forward to next summer. We're on air till around about 10:30 tonight because we have that game down at Rugby Park, Kilmarnock against Rangers. That kicks off at 8 o'clock. We're on TV for another 20 minutes or so. We might try and bring some managers to you. We can see the pictures come in, huge celebrations through there in Paisley. Stephen Robinson looking absolutely delighted. Jens Bertolascu going round the pitch at Fir Park, another really good performance from his side. And Jimmy Tilleen, he's in the park now at Dens Park, just congratulating both sets of players there. It's been a really terrific day, you'd have to say, right across Scottish football. Tom, we'll do the classifies just shortly, but so many talking points.
Yeah, I mean, there always is. So many controversial decisions, some terrific goals. Nisbet won possibly the pick of the lot. Big, powerful performance from Hibs. Kieran Bowie re-emerging as a striker. Maybe he'll be considering for a World Cup place. Aberdeen continuing their very good form. Sid Mirren getting a win. So timely for them with the cup final to come up. And Motherwell continuing doing Motherwell things, winning games, scoring goals, entertaining. And Stephen has tipped him for
sheets in a row.
4 clean sheets in a row. Stephen has tipped him to win the title.
I was just putting it in the mix to see if you would nibble, and you have.
I've nibbled. Listen, I'll nibble all day.
I was speaking with Tam Cowan a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking. We had the discussion about the style of play at Motherwell, and he was saying, look, most fans after the semi-final League Cup defeat to St Mirren would go nuts, but he said we're also encouraged by what we're seeing. And we're all loving this brand of football. Every week they're turning up and they've been entertained.
I tell you, I can't remember the fans buying into something as much at Fir Park than they have done under Jens Berthel. Because there used to be half a dozen old guys sat behind the manager's technical area at Fir Park. And no matter whether it was Alec McLeish or whether it was Billy Davis, whether it was Mark McGee or Craig Brown or Stephen Robinson or whoever it was, Stuart McCall, they screamed and shouted, get the ball forward as quick as you can. So I don't know what they're sitting thinking watching this, because they do not get the ball forward, but they do it with quality. So he's convinced the players, and he's convinced the fans, and he's convinced the board, and they are delivering on results, Kerry. Today looked like a stroll in the park at times.
Tell me about Elliot Watt. What do you make of him?
Brilliant. Smashing player. I saw St Johnson last year and had question marks about him. I always felt he received the ball facing his own goal, and the number of times he gave it away caused St Johnson all sorts of problems. He's still doing it at Motherwell. However, he's got more options round about him because they're bang into what he's doing. The manager wants him to go and receive the ball. So his link-up play, his one-touch passing, everything is really coming on leaps and bounds, and I think there's more to come.
Right, let's do the classifieds for you right now, and then we'll go through the Scottish tables as well. And don't forget, we'll bring you reaction from managers, from the pundits, and of course the fans. They will join us on BBC Radio Scotland from round about 5:30. So let's then have a look at the Scottish Premiership classified score lines. And remember, one game will kick off